retaliation will take. Swedish prosecutors reopening a rape case against WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange say they will seek his extradition after he serves a 50-week prison term in Britain for bail jumping. 26-year-old Texas man has a court appearance later today. Darian Vance arrested in connection with the disappearance of his 4-year-old stepdaughter. On Wall Street this morning, stock futures deep in the red. Dow futures down about 303 points. The S&P futures off 36. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
We're starting off our morning with a number of problems. The westbound lanes of 255 are closed across the Jefferson Barracks Bridge for emergency road work until further notice. Inspection crews found cracks in steel beams in the bridge on Sunday. We've also still got flooding in West Alton, 67 down to one lane in both directions between the Missouri River and the Mississippi River. And westbound 44 down to one lane at Grand Boulevard for emergency construction after a stormwater grate collapsed Sunday afternoon. Traffic is sponsored by Express Services, Inc. You work hard. You know what it takes to succeed. Now it's time to put your experience to work and launch your business. For a limited time, Express Employment Professionals will give you $25,000 to open your franchise. Get to know Express. Visit expressfranchising.com today. I'm Bonnie Green with your St. Louis Metro traffic on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
1380 The Answer. Weather.
Major river flooding expected to continue through tonight. We'll have partly sunny skies today, the high 66. Mainly clear and cool tonight with a low of 47. Mostly sunny skies tomorrow, the high 72. Tomorrow night, mostly cloudy with a couple of thunderstorms around, the high 58. We'll have mostly cloudy skies Wednesday with a passing shower and a high of 77. I'm Drew Shannon with your St. Louis Metro forecast on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
Joe Walsh has seen it all from the left.
Christine Quinn is her name, giving the Democrat view on abortion.
When a woman gets pregnant, that is not a human being inside of her. It's part of her body.
I've heard a lot. You heard her. It's not a human being. What is it then, a fish? What is it, a pineapple?
The Joe Walsh radio program. Weeknights at 8 on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer. Breaking news. Stability talk.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-500-5588. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-500-5588 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-500-5588 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-500-5588.
Common Sense Radio with Allman in the morning on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
Give me land, lots of land, and the starry skies above. Don't fence me in. Let me ride through the wide open country that I love. Don't fence me in. Let me be by myself in the evening breeze. Listen to the murmur of the cottonwood trees. Send me off forever, but I ask you please. Don't fence me in. Don't fence me in. Just turn me loose. Let me straddle my old saddle underneath the western skies. On my cayuse, let me wander over yonder till I see the mountains rise. I want to ride to the ridge where the west commences. Gaze at the moon until I lose my senses. I can't look at hovels and I can't stand fences. Don't fence me in. 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 Don't fence me in.
Hey, will you hand me that that thing, that lantern right there on this chair? That'd be great. Thank you. I ran up in the same elevator that you got trapped in, but it opened. It was the only elevator that opened. What can I do? Thank you, Maxie, for that. I had to run down to my car. I run down to the Jeep and got stuck. And they didn't move for but it was opened.
The door was open and it buzzed at me. It was scary, man.
But this one opened, and I was like, oh, well, I know this is the same one he went in, but it's the only one open. I can't just stand here and get another one because I can't trick it into thinking that.
I jumped in and pushed one and jumped back out so it would leave.
Oh.
And I called another one, but it took me a minute to figure that out. So.
Well, you had well, then you're smarter than I am because I was in a hurry. I hopped in it. Right. I had to, get down in there. But boy, I'll tell you what, man, almost got trapped in an elevator. That was crazy. Elevators, boy, that's trust right there, man. Do you know what I mean? The elevator is probably the one thing that you get into, and you don't give you never get any kind of, you don't care about any kind of set. You just get into it. That's probably the one thing we do in life where we just kind of extend absolute, unfettered, unadulterated trust to. We don't even want to see the inspection certificate because they tell you can see it, but they don't even post them anymore in the elevators, do they now? Have you noticed that? They used to post them in the elevator. Now they say you got to go to the office to check it out. Now, I don't think many things have happened bad in an elevator. We don't have a lot of elevator accidents, right? Do we? No. We don't have it's not like it's the Boeing 737 MX or whatever the hell that is that everybody's afraid of. I'd still get into one of those. But the elevator is one of those things where we just think that it's, yeah, sure, I'll get in there. Why not? I'm on the 30,000th floor. I don't care. I'll just go in. I'll go in, and I'll think that this pulley is going to just, with me and 10 other people on it, is just going to lift me up and then take me back down again and stop when I want it to and stop when it's supposed to and all that kind of stuff. And really, we have no idea. We have really no. And let me tell you something. Try checking the inspection certificate of one of these things and find out why they don't put them in the elevators anymore. Because half the time they're not even inspected. But I mean, I'm not afraid of elevators. I'm really not. I'm one of those people who I'm one of those trusting individuals. I'm surprised there aren't more accidents though on elevators like in India, because where everybody you have the 70 people dying in a bus plunge every other 5 days. Whatever happened to the old bus plunge article that used to put in there used to be fillers in the Post-Dispatch. If they needed a couple more column inches, they would just throw in a bus plunge article. 35 people die in bus plunge in Bangladesh. Right? You know the bus plunge. It's a whole thing. The bus plunge thing. That's because they fill up the buses, and then we don't have any more seats. They ride on top of them, and then they go over a cliff. What do me? Listen to me laughing. Golly, it's terrible. How dare I? Terrible person. But anyway, but you think? I'm sure that the elevators here are great, but imagine the people who get in elevators in India or Pakistan or just name a place, not India, but name any other place where they eat out of bowls on a mat and you climb into a leave. Bye guys. Thank you. I'm gonna go wash my hands after eating a bowl of rice on a mat. I'm gonna go climb into the elevator and go to the 10th, 15th floor of your thing. Bye bye. I could never do that in a million years. Oh, Lord. Anyway, that's my elevator story. I'm sticking to it. So good morning this morning. Boy, beautiful sunrise. I'm telling you now, it's about time. My goodness gracious. We're getting sick of that weather. Mark Case, did you give me that thing? Where did I put it? Oh, here it is. He made that's a rookie mistake right there. Leaving your key card when you're a broadcaster. No, hardly any. You learn quickly that that's a bad thing. We had to leave him in the hallway for a little while because he thinks he has one. I know I think he thinks he does, and I'm sure he thinks it's someplace, and he's so highly organized and all that kind of stuff, and he doesn't have it.
Does he still rock two phones? Remember when he used to rock two phones?
Oh yeah, of course he does.
Man.
Yeah. But most people with two phones do it just because they want to be people with two phones. You don't really need two phones. Nobody needs. I know, and if you do need two phones, what are you doing? What are you up to? You know what I mean? Why do you need two phones? Come on now. I don't have two phones. My name's Barack Obama. Hey, let me tell you something. A pen and two phones. Did I say that? No. I said a pen and a phone. If I thought people should have two phones, I'd have said a pen, and I have got a pen and two phones. But Michelle would have grabbed my balls like she does every day when I mouth off. I forgot about that one article, though, the other day that I wanted to get to you. Forgot about that one. I can't remember. Let's see. I flagged it, and I was going to talk about it, and it was like a whole article to women. Oh, yeah, here. It's interesting you bring me up. It reminds me. I'll get to the stuff in a second. I know things are going on. By the way, this guy Guido or whatever his name is down in Venezuela, he's like begging us to go down. I think they thought that we'd have our military like, boom, because Obama would have been down there in a second. McCain would have been like, yes, we need to go. McCain would have been like, we'd be already in Venezuela if McCain had anything to say about anything. You know what I mean? Because he was a complete warmonger. Boy, I'm glad those days are over. We would have been down there in a seconds flat. Because all the Bill Cristols and all of the Bushes and all those guys would have told us that's the conservative thing to do. You know, they would have told us, you know, we are the caretakers of the world. That's our responsibility. That's who we are. We have a mighty responsibility to take care of the world. And it's not true. But remember we were told all that, though? I really hate to love the sun and then put down the shade, but it's actually in my eyes.
Yeah, people are commenting about it on Facebook.
Yeah.
Need some sunglasses, man.
I really don't. I'm not squinting at all.
No.
So I'm just saying that it's actually kind of nice.
They say it looks cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like you know, hey, what up, y'all? Got the sun shining on me, y'all. What's going on, y'all? Dude, have you seen that LaQuisha trailer? Oh man, I think it's LaQuisha. It's about a white dude who fails in broadcasting, so he does a show where he does it all in a black woman's voice. What's up, y'all? Come on in. And he's like, I could have done that probably. And no, he does the whole thing in black voice and a black woman's voice, and everybody's convinced that he's actually a black woman doing a show. That's a great idea. Golly, I wish I had thought of that one. But he does a whole called, I think it's LaQuisha. I'm not kidding you. And then everybody she becomes so popular that everybody's like, listen to LaQuisha. Y'all listen. She is the black woman. She's the one who is going to lead the black woman to, you know, like their Oprah. Their radio Oprah. Although Oprah doesn't talk like that. Oprah talks like this. She talks like Thomas Jefferson. But LaQuisha. But yeah, man, and it's going to be a really big. Here's the deal. It's going to freak everybody. Everybody's going to be really angry about it because they're going to say, "Well, what's the difference between that and blackface?" It's like, well, come on. I mean, I get away with a lot of that here. Where I can mock Obama and Al Sharkey, and bum. I don't care. Call me racist. You know what? Bite me. Because I'm not. So you can eat me. So but the other thing is, though, you say that on the radio. I'm a biscuit. I'm an egg, bacon, sausage biscuit. That's right. That's what I mean. Or a banana. Or an orange. But no, that's supposed to be a good movie. Loquisha. It's coming out, but it'll drive everybody crazy because it's a Hollywood movie. Liberals don't know what to do with it because it's coming right out of Hollywood. But it's kind of like Soul Man. Soul Man? They reference Soul Man. It's like him acting like it. You'd hardly ever get away with that. But now, this is a different one. This is going to be good. Loquisha. Pay attention to it. Mark my words. It's a big deal. So anyway, I was on to something really quickly. Yes, we would be in Venezuela now. And if we... Oh, watch this. Here, I'll put some sunglasses on. Oh, shit. Shoot. Here, there you go. No. Good morning, everybody. Good morning this morning. I decided to wear my... Oh, the future's so bright, I gotta wear shades. La, 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 la.
You got to cut a mouth hole in that thing. That'd be great. It looks good.
Okay, everybody, good morning. Good morning this morning, everybody. The sun is shining, and it's a good morning this morning. Oh, that microphone's in my nose. Billy, put it up here in my mouth so I can speak to you more clearly. You guys on the radio are so unlucky. Because if you're on Facebook, you're understanding what true radio entertainment is. You're seeing it all in its full glory. Good morning, good morning. How am I? Oh, I finally got it there. It's hard to do this when we're on a delay. Anyway, that joke's done. Okay, good. What'd you think about that? Pretty funny? Yeah. Yes.
This might be the most sun we've gotten into this room since we've been here, coming through that window.
Am I the Ernie Kovacs of radio or not?
Ernie Kovacs? Nice.
Yeah, oh yeah. You ever watch some Ernie Kovacs? That'd be like it. I think Allman's kind of like him. Hope he doesn't meet the same fate, whatever his fate is. I don't know what that is, but something tells me Ernie Kovacs, something didn't go right with him. But nonetheless, stick with me. So anyway, if Obama were president or if McCain were still alive, we would already be down in Venezuela. And believe me, because Obama would do it just because the Venezuela, they're just like they're minorities. They'd be down there just because they're Venezuelans. And I don't know about this Guaido guy. I get it. I mean, I get that he was duly elected and whatever they were doing down there. I understand that. But there's no way in hell we ought to send anybody down there of any level of military. That'd be a huge mistake. And now he's basically begging us to go down there, and so far we've been able to avoid that because people are not. This is bad timing. I'll put it that way. It's bad timing for that kind of activity. So we'll talk about that. Kayson's going to be in. I will go back on the article entitled "Dear Wives, Publicly Criticizing Your Husband Makes You Look Horrible" article that I brought about after I commented on Michelle Obama and Barack. And also, by the way, Ocasio-Cortez now says that when she was talking about the world ending in 12 years, that she was actually just kidding. She was just joking around. But I don't know, the audio tape I had, there was no one laughing. It was not a real joke or anything like that. But I got to get to the national anthem as well, ladies and gentlemen. So hope everybody had a great Mother's Day, and all of you enjoyed your mamas. I did mine. I said on Facebook that I am celebrating 56 years of Mother's Day with my mom. It's pretty amazing when you kind of count the years, think about it. pretty incredible. But I feel, I lost my dad in 1997 a long time ago. So I understand some people, though, would love to have their mothers back in their lives. And it was for that day, it's always kind of tough. But you still try to make the best of it and appreciate all the moms, or at least what your mom did for you while she was still there. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
More Allman in the Morning coming up on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer. Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
We've picked up our first accident of the morning, 141 northbound before Tesson Ferry, a right lane blocked there with a crash. And then we've got some other issues. Now, westbound 44 is down to one lane at Grand Boulevard for emergency roadwork after a stormwater grate collapsed on Sunday afternoon. And the westbound lanes of 255 remain closed across the Jefferson Barracks Bridge for emergency roadwork until further notice after inspection crews found cracks in steel beams on the bridge Sunday afternoon. Traffic is sponsored by TrainInfo.com Heating and Cooling. Enjoy comfort year-round with a new Train heating and cooling system. At Train, they test so it runs. For a limited time, you can get a great deal on a qualifying new Train system. Visit TrainInfo.com to find your local dealer. That's TrainInfo.com. It's hard to stop a train. I'm Bonnie Green with your St. Louis Metro traffic on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
Sunrise, sunrise, looks like morning in your eyes, but the clock's held 9:15 for hours.
Good morning this morning, everybody.
Sunrise, sunrise.
He still got in.
Couldn't tempt us if it tried.
Walking in here like he owns the place. You can't do that when you leave your key card. Yes, indeed, everybody. Good morning this morning. Happy Monday to all of you. And Markation is on the way. And I want to get to this. I want to look at this article that I was going to talk to you about regarding the Dear Wives, publicly criticizing your husbands makes you look horrible. And this is in reference to Barack Obama and Michelle Obama. Now, Michelle Obama, I don't know. I said it's none of my business about other people's relationships and that kind of thing. But the just the fact that she actually calls him Barack. Now, I don't expect her to call him like His Highness or that kind of thing when she's out and about in the public. But you can tell that she doesn't really have a whole lot of, I don't know, there's just something going on there that this person who wrote the article, M.L. Brownstein, in the Federalist, says it just really doesn't look right. It's hard to pinpoint when this trend erupted, but looking at the widely admired Michelle Obama might be a worthwhile starting point. In 2007, New York Times columnist Maureen Dowd wrote about wincing when Michelle Obama chides her husband as a mere mortal. In Michelle's words, for some reason, this guy still can't manage to put the butter up when he makes toast, secure the bread so that it doesn't get stale, and his 5-year-old is still better at making the bed than he is. I mean, she said that publicly about her husband. Oh, and also Barack apparently didn't put his dirty socks away. That whole trope, right? Now, this person said, I shared Michelle's distaste for the messianic tone some of her husband's supporters used when discussing him. And that's true. You know, they looked at him as being the second coming, whatever. I still don't know that I would have said the above about him, though, in that sense. But we're still able to evaluate Barack Obama on his own. We knew both halves of the couple, and the American people had an independent relationship with each spouse. That can't be said about most other men in America. Most husbands are not public figures, nor are their wives. When one half of a couple takes to print and chides the other for personal failings, it's like being asked to play backup in a stranger's marital squabble. But you all know what I'm talking about. You've seen all that. I mean, I've seen men do it to their wives, too. And it's really hugely uncomfortable. Usually in public, if you're going to comment about somebody, you want to just not do it at all, like about your spouse, because it never comes across as very, very nice. And it actually makes Michelle Obama really look like an insufferable hussy. And I've always thought that. I've never thought that she had any kind of sunny side to her in many ways, but and I don't agree with Barack's policies, but whenever she kind of put him down all the time, it seemed, or talked to him like she was his boy, it was kind of like, damn, is that really something that should be, is that good for Barack Obama? And guys who do it, believe me, who are self-deprecating in that manner are worse. They're the traitors of our culture. The guys who, like James Comey, who gets up there and talks about what a servant to his wife he is. It's more complicated than that, but you know what I'm talking about. It's good to love your wife and everything, but don't use her as a life preserver when you're out in public. You know what I'm saying? To make you look better. There's your lesson. Good evening. Good morning.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. President Trump taking to Twitter this morning to blast Democrats for pursuing investigations against him. The president, who has accused the Democrats of harassment, writes, sadly, this proves I'm doing a great job. He continues, best economy and employment numbers ever. Saudi Arabia is calling it a sabotage attack, saying it heavily damaged 2 of its oil tankers off the coast of the United Arab Emirates. One of those vessels was due to be loaded with crude bound for the U.S. Washington has warned that Iran or its proxies could be targeting maritime traffic in the volatile region. While there are currently no trade talks scheduled between the U.S. and China, White House economic advisor Larry Kudlow remains optimistic about the prospects for a trade deal. On Wall Street this morning, Dow futures down 326 points, S&P futures off 38. More details at srnnews.com.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
Well, we've got a little bit of everything out there. An accident still causing problems on 141 northbound, a right lane block before Tesson Ferry, and 270 westbound starting to slow between Route 3 and Chain of Rocks Bridge. Now, westbound 44 still down to 1 lane at Grand for emergency construction after a storm water grate collapsed on Sunday. And the westbound lanes of 255 remain closed across the Jefferson Barracks Bridge for emergency road work until further notice after cracks were found in steel beams. Traffic is sponsored by TrainInfo.com Heating and Cooling. Enjoy comfort year-round with a new Train heating and cooling system. At Train, they test so it runs. For a limited time, you can get a great deal on a qualifying new Train system. Visit TrainInfo.com to find your local dealer. That's TrainInfo.com. It's hard to stop a train. I'm Bonnie Green with your St. Louis Metro traffic on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
1380, The Answer. Weather.
Major river flooding expected to continue through tonight. We'll have partly sunny skies today, the high 66. Mainly clear and cool tonight with a low of 47. Mostly sunny skies tomorrow, the high 72. Tomorrow night, mostly cloudy with a couple of thunderstorms around the high 58. We'll have mostly cloudy skies Wednesday with a passing shower and a high of 77. I'm Drew Shannon with your St. Louis Metro forecast on 1380 and 105.3, The Answer.
Yes, indeed, everybody. The Matthew Mitchell Allstate Agency, 855-QUOTE-ME is the number. And, boy, what a great organization the Matthew Mitchell Allstate Agency is, because they're an extension of one of the best, largest companies in the world as it relates to insurance, and also one of the wealthiest. And you're thinking to myself, I don't know, do I say that about the wealthiest company or the richest company? Because that insinuates somehow that they're just making gobs of money and blah, blah. Well, yeah, that's true. But don't you want to be with somebody who is doing that? But don't you want to know why they're the largest and wealthiest company? It's because they have a wide portfolio. They have a portfolio that is trouncing everybody else. They have more people. They don't really tax more people. They just have more people on the books as customers and as clients. And that makes for a wide portfolio. And the only reason they have more people is because they have low premiums and low deductibles. They have wiggle room. They're an insurance company that doesn't do what the other guys do, which is make you pay a lot when you're a 16-year-old driver. They don't increase your deductibles and give you low premiums, but have deductibles that are sky high so that you never really actually make a claim, or you can't make a claim. What they do is they do low deductibles and low premiums all at the same time. And Matthew Mitchell and his team can do that for you and make it happen for you, where other insurance companies cannot. They just can't afford it, because that's how they make their money, by keeping that deductible high and making sure you never make a claim. But that's not the case with Allstate, and that's why they're a great company. And that's why Matthew and his team, amassing 70 years of experience together, are going to make anything work for you that you need. And again, back to that young driver program, a 16-year-old isn't breaking the bank when they're driving in your family when you are insured by the Allstate Agency. It's 855-QUOTE-ME, 855-QUOTE-ME. It's the Matthew Mitchell Allstate Agency.
Rick Pogue here with Arrowhead Building Supply, the region's #1 specialty exterior building supplier. Arrowhead has the widest range of exterior products, from the most economical and commodity items to our highest-end outside elegance collection. If you need a contractor, Arrowhead supplies products to hundreds of the best contractors and builders in the business. Call us for a contractor referral and rest easy. The Arrowhead Cube Home Visualizer tool means you can upload an actual photo of your home and change it with just a touch of your finger. Now you can be 100% confident in your selections before they are installed in your home. Our product showrooms are the largest and most beautiful in the industry. We make it simple to experience a full range of siding, roofing, window, door, deck, and even stone options for your home or business. Check us out at arrowheadbuildingsupply.com or visit an Arrowhead showroom near you today in St. Peters, Missouri, Peebly, Missouri, and Fairview Heights, Illinois. Arrowhead Building Supply. Building supplies for building success. arrowheadbuildingsupply.com.
Curtains, shades, blinds, shutters. What are the best for living rooms or bedrooms? Let me tell you about the quality, customized service you will receive when you call Michael Proctor at Proctor Drapery. Michael Proctor is an interior designer with exceptional expertise when it comes to window treatments for your home or business. Michael Proctor has served our St. Louis area since 1974 with the highest quality and value for custom drapery, blinds, shades, and shutters. He is also a top-tier Hunter Douglas priority dealer and your first choice for Norman Plantation shutters. Call Michael Proctor today and schedule your in-home consultation with Michael's mobile design unit. He will come to you. Weekend and evening appointments are available. The one-on-one appointment with Michael Proctor will ensure the look is exactly what you're looking for in your home or business. Cut down on the risk of error and make your home great again. Proctor Drapery is the answer. Schedule your appointment today with Michael. Contact Michael at proctordrapery.com. It's Proctor spelled like doctor.
Hey, don't just listen to Allman in the Morning. See the show at theanswerstl.com. Now, more Allman in the Morning on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
Some say the man's not wrapped too tight. Captain Lou, Captain Lou, Captain Lou. But when he's on the scene, everything's alright. Captain Lou, Albano. With a man of thousand faces,
hey!
I know we be
Sorry.
going places.
Captain Lou Albano.
Lou, don't worry, 'cause it's figured in. Captain Lou,
Sounds like Mark Kaysen talking. Now, don't worry, it's sticking in.
He's like a Britain tin. Captain Lou Albano.
I don't need Mark Kaysen doing a show on Radio Free Allman. I need him as my agent. Hey! Still got in without your key card. You're lucky. You're the luckiest man alive. Keep that song up, though, as we introduce Mark Kaysen. Come on, man. You got in without your key card. Why are you standing over there? You got to be sauntering in here like you own the place. Now that you got in without a key card. Come on, man. They even got cellos playing for you.
Yeah. Don't you know that when you're going into a show, the person who runs the show decides everything that's happening.
Right.
So, you know,
giving me a lesson in broadcasting?
Whoever's here, you wait out there until the guy says,
yeah, I know.
I mean, come on.
I know.
You're in charge. You're Commander Allman.
Don't tell me to be commander.
Well, you are the commander.
I know, but I know how to do that.
Yeah. Well,
I just was doing
I'm
that.
just saying, I know how to do what I do.
But you also know. But you also know that I know also that I could keep you over there.
You could,
and then berate you for
You
not
could do
coming
that.
over here, even though it actually is my job to have you over here. But I could still manage to make you look like, you know, I'm making you look.
I understand
But
how that works.
You get that?
Very well.
Dude, here's your lanyard. I don't know how you listen. Let me tell you something. And I'm going to teach you because you're going to become a big star. You're going to be a big star.
You already made me a big star.
I know, but you're going to be even bigger. You when you go to Myron's Pancake Shack,
yeah,
you're going to be, you know, Myron Epstein's Pancake Shack. You're going to love. They're going to love you even more.
Well, Myron Epstein loves you too, so you know. And that's so funny because we'll end up calling it that for 100 years. I love that. That's good.
But you, but when you get a key card to a studio,
yeah, you don't lose it.
You never leave it in the studio.
It's not good.
It's one of the first things you learn is that you don't do that.
Yeah, and I have to tell you, and I know that Phil doesn't understand these things, but my intern had to help me get out of the door because I didn't know how to push all the buttons properly on the. She knew everything to push. She knew exactly how to do it.
Yeah.
So I didn't cause the building to blow up or anything.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Uh-oh. Mark's got an intern that knows everything to
I've
push.
actually got 2 interns.
Oh, okay. So anyway, look at Mark. He's already got it. He's got it all set up on a lanyard and look at this. And a little thing he can wear around his neck. It says first rule.
Rob set that up. That's right.
You swing by the gift shop, Casey. Come on, man.
Are you gonna go? You guys have your golf cart that all of you tool around in?
Yeah.
Make sure everything's okay.
What we have to do is go back to what you were saying earlier about the wives and all that.
Yeah.
I don't know what your wife would say. I mean, if you ask my wife anything about me, she'd tell you I'm an idiot.
Oh,
of course.
Well, that's not good.
Well, of course, yes. That's how it works. The women make the decisions, run everything, and they make us look like we're doing something. That's how it works.
Well, I don't know. We hope really that in the end, I mean, I think in relationships, it's important to elevate each other. So I would never. I don't think. Like, I would like to be able to be as supportive of my wife, or if I'm married, it doesn't matter who it is, but if I'm married to somebody, right, your goal is to constantly be elevating of them, not dismissive of them.
I think most women would say, especially in cases like us, that we're already elevated too much. That it might be a good idea to knock us down a couple of notches.
Why is that?
Men.
Right.
Especially white men. But
right, but why is that, though? I mean, wouldn't a woman want a man to feel like a strong man?
Do you feel strong?
Is it? Yes.
Well, then what are you worried about?
Well, saying,
what's the difference? What she says.
What I'm saying is, like, but wouldn't that want to be? Wouldn't you want that? Wouldn't you want? Yeah. Wouldn't you want to always see your man, or your woman for that matter, as like a cowboy or a cowgirl or a king or a queen?
This is a bad country, and we devalue women, And so
who does?
Men in this country.
No, they don't.
Sure they do.
Not men I know.
They make 77 cents on the dollar for what
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that, but I don't
that's
think,
how it is.
I don't think as a culture we devalue women.
Sure we do.
Oh, come on.
That's exactly the problem.
I think let me tell you something. Look at the really bad people that have made their way in politics, male and female, black and white, who have gotten a pass. And I don't know whether or not, for instance, Elizabeth Warren, given her crimes that she's committed against the truth, would never be this far if she were a man. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, she would, because Joe Biden is a plagiarist and a liar.
How can you say those things? Why would you call those people names?
I'm not.
When you know what Donald J. Trump does.
But here's the thing,
insanity.
though. But here's the difference between Donald Trump and these guys. Donald Trump has put himself in front of the American people in Altoona, Pennsylvania, and said, "This is who I am. Vote for me or don't vote for me, but this is who I am." He doesn't have CBS News and NBC and ABC and CNN creating a person of who he is. Donald Trump had to rely solely on his authenticity in front of Americans, and you know what? They liked it.
No, he lost by 3 million votes.
But you know what, though, Mark? You can't keep saying that, because in the Electoral College,
that's
not our system.
Fine.
Then stop saying that.
No, because you're trying to say he's popular.
He is.
I'm trying to say he won the election fair and square.
He's not popular.
But he's not popular.
He's not popular in New York City.
Unpopular.
He's not popular in Dallas and New York City and these other hellholes. He's popular, though, in America. That's what counted.
He's never won an election with the popular vote yet.
The founding,
not one.
It doesn't matter. You don't win elections in the popular vote, Mark.
Well, he got
don't
destroyed in the midterms.
He didn't get destroyed in the midterms. The people who suffered the most are the people who didn't support him. But let me tell you something. He put himself out there in front of people. Look at Buttigieg and Beto O'Rourke and all these guys. They're a fabric. They're a piece of a pie that was baked by the media. These guys on their own would never survive. They don't survive in the wild. And that's why in the wild, Trump is going to eat them alive, because he's already proven that he's the king of the forest, man. He can go out there, and he was voted on by a majority of Americans. I'm talking about through the Electoral College, and he took himself out there. He didn't have the media trying to prop him up like these other guys are. These guys are all fantasies of the media. They're not real people.
800 now.
Sorry to yell. Why am I yelling?
No, it's all right. 800 now.
Driving me nuts.
Federal
I didn't have any coffee.
prosecutors.
I had 2 sips of coffee.
Yeah. Take some more coffee. 800 federal prosecutors. 800. Listen to that number.
Including Bill Weld, who's running against him.
Federal prosecutors
matter, Mark.
said that if it were anybody else, he'd be indicted.
But see,
that's significant.
No, it's not.
Well,
it's no more significant than the 3 million people who didn't vote for President Trump and voted for Hillary that made the difference. It doesn't matter what these former federal prosecutors say. It really doesn't.
Well, does it matter what Don McGahn says?
No.
Oh, well, yeah, because let me tell you, Don McGahn is going to tell on him. He's going to get in front of Congress and he's going to tell on him.
But no, you guys told us it mattered that what Mueller said.
Well, it did
and suddenly
matter.
Mueller says something, and you guys think, now it matters what Don McGahn said.
No, because he's obstructed justice.
You guys, let me
That's
tell you.
what he's done.
You told us that it was going to be Mueller.
Mueller said he's a criminal.
Mueller decides this. No, he didn't say that.
He said, I have to turn it over to Congress. Because read the thing.
Right.
He had to turn it over to Congress because the rules of the Justice Department won't allow him to proceed with the indictments. So it's got to be in the hands of Congress. That's where it is.
Mueller could have indicted him. He didn't because he's a puss.
Well, you can call him that, but he said he's following the rules.
He's the same deep state ne'er-do-well that we knew he was and his whole team was. Is the biggest crime that Mueller did was he put that out there, and because he didn't have the goods, he knew the media would hop all over his little nebulous statements about President Trump, because he knew that was going to be his revenge against President Trump's attacks on him. So he put out this report, wishy-washy, and he knew the stupid analysts out there would turn it into an indictment that it wasn't. And so that's why he did what he did. Mueller's a bad man, like all the rest of those guys
like
are.
McGahn, It
doesn't matter.
Who was a great man a month ago, and now he's a bad man. But okay.
I never talked about McGahn.
No, not you. Not you. I'm not. It's not you.
But
you're fine. I'm talking about Donald J. Trump. Listen, let's not forget Mattis and Tillerson and
yes,
I'll go down the line.
It happens.
He throws out everybody because everybody looks at him and says, "No, this man's crazy."
No, Tillerson. Here's
George
the thing.
Conway.
This is what happens when you don't have people from the swamp in your environment. This happens. Tillerson was an Exxon Mobil executive, okay? There are some things that you're just not going to always have everything, in step with. And so they didn't, and it's natural. Here's the thing. I think the fact that people left the administration, didn't go, and some of them dished on him, but whatever, but they left the administration. I think it shows a fluidity and authenticity that we haven't seen before, where these guys stick by people because their dad loved them, and that's why they're in the administration. For President Trump, it doesn't matter. You're either good or we get along, or you're not and we don't, and we part ways. So that kind of fluidity, that kind of authenticity is normal in every kind of relationship. Why shouldn't it be normal in a presidential one?
Because they didn't just leave. Every single one of them left, and because we're on the air, I can't even say the words that they used.
Yeah, but who cares?
To describe him
but how
when they were walking out. They used so many
Mark,
F words.
how many people?
That I can't even say
Mark,
it.
even the most left-wing people I know aren't still bringing up Rex Tillerson.
No, these were. I'm more left-wing than everybody, and I'm bringing them up.
I know.
I'm bringing up everybody.
But most people are going, yeah, but that Rex Tillerson guy.
Yeah.
How
about George Conway?
Not even
this morning.
Oh,
just this morning.
I hope he gassed himself in his garage. What's the news?
Well, don't say. No, he's saying that Donald's a criminal
George
and has
Conway?
to go. Yes.
George Conway's been saying this for 6 months. The guy has his, what's cut off because his wife is more successful than he is, and she's in his administration. He's a total beta, and he can't stand it, and he's fat.
She's banned off of MSNBC. She is, because she won't answer a question.
It doesn't banned off of MSNBC.
Yeah,
that's a badge of honor. She get the Medal of Freedom for that.
Yeah,
like Tiger Woods did. You don't like that, do you? Like Tiger, is he not? Have you?
I have no problem.
Have you pulled his black card?
I have no problem with him, but I do think it's interesting. Think about this: all the black members of the Red Sox wouldn't go to the White House. Including the manager from Puerto Rico, who wouldn't go.
Yes. Yeah, so what?
Because this is what he has brought this country to.
No, it hasn't. First of all, that thing of people going to the White House is stupid anyway. But Mark, nobody cares about Rex Tillerson or about Don McGahn or any of that stuff. It's all going to boil down to what we see at the voting booth. That's how this works.
Yeah, like at the midterms.
Mark, he has already proven himself.
Yeah.
Everybody knows who Donald Trump is. All right,
that's for sure.
And even the evangelicals know that Donald Trump doesn't read the Bible. But you know what? They know he's tough. They know he's a fighter. They know he's the Lion King, man. And he gets out there and he tells you who he is. And let me tell you something else. The more people try to destroy him and he survives, the bigger he gets. Which is, I don't know what you guys are thinking, but the larger and more popular and more amazing he becomes, because we've seen it in our own lives. We've seen people maligned, misidentified, harped on, ruined, everything else. And Americans don't like it. Even left-wing Americans don't like it.
Even the conservatives at Myron Epstein's Pancake Shack come up to me and say, how are we going to end this? Even the conservatives.
Oh,
even the conservatives.
I don't know who those people are.
Well,
how are we going to end this?
They love you.
It doesn't. But you know what? Yeah. I don't love them.
Okay.
Because that's not a proper statement to make.
Okay. So how about
stop
this?
Stop loving me and saying that.
How about this? You can't stop
love
them.
me and say that.
You can't stop them. They love you.
You can't love me and say that.
They can love you if they want. And by the way, how about let's make some sense here. You were
I
on
gotta
a
take a break.
Yeah,
We can make
take
some
your break.
sense later.
Take
so
your
that you
break.
can actually have some.
Take your
practice,
break.
and then we'll make some sense
Definitely.
after you. This is Common Sense Radio. Your phone calls are welcome. The calltammy.com listener lines 844-855-1380.
More Allman in the Morning coming up on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer. Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
We still have an accident on 141 northbound. It's blocking a right lane before Tesson Ferry. And we've got 270 westbound backing up Route 3 to Chain of Rocks Bridge. The westbound lanes of 255 remain closed across the Jefferson Barracks Bridge for emergency roadwork until further notice. Inspection crews found cracks in the steel beams of the bridge. And we've got midday roadwork today, 9 to 4:30 in the right lane on westbound 64 on the Poplar Street Bridge. And traffic is sponsored by Hampton by Hilton. The key to every great road trip, a full tank of gas and full stomachs. And when you stay at any of Hampton by Hilton's 2,400 locations, you can start every day with free hot breakfast. Book your next stay now at Hampton.com. I'm Bonnie Green with your St. Louis Metro traffic on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
All right, Tammy Mitchell-Hines and company. And I got to tell you, she is my sister from another mother as far as I'm concerned. Her vivaciousness, her assertiveness, her professionalism is just absolutely amazing. And that's why she is one of the most successful real estate companies, I'm telling you what, in the bi-state area, but she's only licensed in Illinois. And she's the #1 independent real estate broker in southwestern Illinois. So I went to her office in Columbia and was able to meet her and her staff and see kind of her vibe. I remember calling it a vibe. And she goes, "What is a vibe?" I'm going, well, it's just a feeling you get, because she's not, hoity-toity like I am, in terms of my language. So she's like, "What's a vibe?" She goes, I don't know what a vibe is, but she said, I will tell you, though, what success is. And that's exactly what it is. It's bringing your team together, having them well-trained, having them well taken care of. They all have their own cars. So she's buying the cars for them, the Tammy Mitchell-Hines label there, but they're not worrying about gas, insurance, all that kind of stuff. All they need to worry about as far as Tammy is concerned is making sure they sell a home or get that dream home bought for a lovely couple or a lovely family. So that's why she sells one home every 30 hours or so. And that's also why she has a success rate that is beyond compare than anybody in the area. So she's going to have that home sold for you quickly, or she's going to have you in that dream home as fast as possible. And then she's also going to provide a moving van for you. So she's not only helping her people, she's helping you as well with that kind of stuff. Nobody else does the moving van. I think a couple people have picked up on it. But that's the kind of energy she has when it comes to serving you as the independent real estate broker in southwestern Illinois, #1, plus also the sponsor of our caller line, which I appreciate as well, which is the calltammy.com listener line. Real estate listener line is 844-855-1380. So check it out. Get that home bought or sold. It doesn't matter what price you're dealing with, because she takes everybody. It's calltammy.com. That's calltammy.com.
Lowe's knows you'll do it right to get your deck ready for entertaining. We're here to help with top brands like Cabot and Valspar so you can refresh your deck at the right price. And we can match any color stain so you're sure to get the look you're going for. Valspar exterior stain and sealer starts as low as $35.98. When you're finished, add a pop of color with 2 for $10 select hanging baskets. For simple and refreshing updates, do it right for less. Start with Lowe's. Offers valid through 5/15. See store for details. U.S. only. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
KXFN, St. Louis, K287BY, St. Louis.
Hey, Dad, let's go fishing.
First things first, Sam. I'm taking you to Denny Dennis Sporting Goods.
Does he have live bait?
Yes, live bait.
Cool. Does he have enough reel spooling?
You bet.
Denny Dennis is the man. I want to shake his hand.
Shop local. Head to Denny Dennis Sporting Goods at #1 Gravois Road in Old Town Fenton, and like Denny Dennis on Facebook to get in on their weekly specials.
Hey, Dad, I caught a really big one.
Listen to Allman in the Morning with Alexa. Wake up and say, "Alexa, play The Answer St. Louis." Now, back to Allman in the Morning on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
Good morning this morning. Hey, Mark. Mark, I don't know. One thing you also have to learn in broadcasting is how to take your lanyard and go, whoa, yeah, whoa, yeah, come on, everybody, yeah.
I'm not that wild. I'm a very calm individual.
Oh, people didn't even see that, did they? Darn it. I was doing the wrong camera. This is what it looked like if you were seeing it on the camera. Whoa! 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 That's how you got to do it, baby. That's how you learn. Oh, here's your land.
Yeah, thank you. You'll be cheering for Secretary of State Hillary Clinton in about a year and a half.
For what?
She'll be our Secretary of State.
No, she won't.
You'll be swinging this around and cheering for her.
What are you thinking?
Yeah, Joe Biden's going to pick her for Secretary of State.
I feel like I'm talking to the guy pushing the grocery cart and feeding pigeons right now.
Well, you were talking about.
He's going to be and then Hillary Clinton's going to be there. She will be. I go, what? Sorry,
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Well, you were talking about Venezuela.
Secretary of State.
Yeah, you were talking about Venezuela.
I was, and I was talking about. Thank God John McCain is dead.
Yeah,
and also thank God Barack Obama is president, or we'd have people dying down there on the streets of Caracas.
They're dying right now on the streets of Caracas.
They're not Americans.
No, well,
so they're not American soldiers. So
yeah,
I'm good.
But some really excellent diplomats could go down there and work out arrangements to help them to get the support they need. Number one, to stop their people from dying because they have no food.
Right.
And number two, to keep them working and living properly in Venezuela so they don't have to go out of there to places where you don't want them to be.
They need you know what they really need though, Mark? They need somebody like Ocasio-Cortez or Bernie Sanders to go down there and talk about how great socialism is. Let me tell you something about socialism. It'd be great to have him giving a speech on the streets of Caracas.
Socialism isn't what did them in.
See how long Bernie Sanders lasts on the streets of Caracas selling and peddling his baloney, or Ocasio-Cortez. I'll tell you what, Ocasio-Cortez, though, seems more concerned about climate change than she does about Venezuela, that's for sure. We'll talk more about that when we come back, because now she says she was just joking about the world ending in 12 years, so we'll follow up on all that. But you guys are really, boy, congratulations. You guys are really...
We're there.
You guys are on all cylinders.
We're perfect.
All cylinders right into the ground. All right, we'll come back.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. He's talking trade and tariffs. President Trump says China will be hurt very badly if it doesn't make a trade deal with the U.S. And on Twitter this morning, the president writes, the unexpectedly good first quarter 3.2% GDP was greatly helped by tariffs from China. Some people just don't get it. Nervous about the trade stalemate, Wall Street futures sharply lower this morning. More trouble in the volatile Persian Gulf, where Saudi Arabia says 2 of its oil tankers have been damaged in what it describes as a sabotage attack. The BBC's Martin Patient says it happened near the strategically important Strait of Hormuz. That's a major passageway for global oil shipments.
And I think also it's important to note that the American administration is yet to confirm whether or not any incident took place. The background to all of this is the rising tensions between America and Iran. Iran, for its part, says this is an alarming incident and it's called for an immediate investigation.
The U.S. has warned that Iran or its allies could be targeting maritime traffic in the region. WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange could be extradited to Sweden after he serves a 50-week prison sentence in Britain for bail jumping. Swedish prosecutors who have reopened a rape case against Assange say they will seek his extradition once he has served his time in the UK. Darian Vance goes to court later today. He's a 26-year-old Texas man arrested in connection with the disappearance of his 4-year-old stepdaughter in Houston. Vance told police that he and the girl had been attacked and that she was kidnapped. Police, though, in Houston think otherwise. On Wall Street this morning, stock futures are deep in the red. Right now, Dow futures down about 342 points. S&P futures off 41, NASDAQ futures down 143 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
We picked up quite a few more delays out there, and one accident still with us. That's 141 northbound, a right lane blocked before Tesson Ferry. 270 northbound's tight. Big Bend to Manchester, westbound slows Canal Bridge to Chain of Rocks Bridge, and 270 westbound just a little slow at Old Halls Ferry. 6440 eastbound, 170 to Big Bend backed up. Westbound, it's Hampton to Laclede Station Road. And the westbound lanes of 255 closed across the Jefferson Barracks Bridge for emergency road work until further notice. Traffic is sponsored by Express Services, Inc. You work hard. You know what it takes to succeed. Now it's time to put your experience to work and launch your business. For a limited time, Express Employment Professionals will give you $25,000 to open your franchise. Get to know Express. Visit expressfranchising.com today. I'm Bonnie Green with your St. Louis Metro traffic on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
1380 The Answer. Weather.
Major river flooding expected to continue through tonight. We'll have partly sunny skies today, the high 66. Mainly clear and cool tonight with a low of 47. Mostly sunny skies tomorrow, the high 72. Tomorrow night, mostly cloudy with a couple of thunderstorms around, the high 58. We'll have mostly cloudy skies Wednesday with a passing shower and a high of 77. I'm Drew Shannon with your St. Louis Metro forecast on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
I'm Sarah Wallace, General Manager at Magnolia Bakery.
Every cake has the backstory of who you're giving this cake to. It's happy birthday, Jessica, or happy sweet 16, Amy, and wanting Amy to have the best sweet 16 that she could ever have. I'm working for a sweeter world, one treat at a time.
At ADP, we're designing a better way to work so you can achieve what you're working for. HR, talent, time, benefits, and payroll, informed by data and designed for people. Learn more at design.adp.com.
Here's some great news. If you missed the deadline to sign up for health insurance, or more importantly, if you sign up for a plan that you're just not happy with, you still have a choice. It's called Medi-Share, and Medi-Share is a Christian healthcare sharing program. It's been around for 25 years. They have more than 400,000 members now around the country. And get this, over the years, Medi-Share members have shared more than $2 billion of each other's medical bills, so they could help share your needs too. And best of all, you could save a lot of money with Medi-Share. The typical savings for a family is around $500 a month. Your savings could be more or less, but think about what you could do with that extra money every month. So if you think you're stuck with a high-cost health plan that doesn't have much to offer, think again. You can join Medi-Share anytime, so call them today and check it out. There's no pressure. They're super easy to talk to. 844-41-BIBLE. That's 844-41-BIBLE. 844-41-BIBLE.
Good morning this morning. And My Pillow is right at your doorstep if you make the proper arrangements, if you use the promo code Jamie, if you understand that you're going to get two for the price of one when you use the promo code Jamie. And getting a great price on the My Pillow is a great value because the pillow is exquisite, it's comfortable, it's amazing. I don't know how they do it, and I'm not really exactly interested in how they do it. I'm interested in the results for you, and that is a pillow that sleeps cool. A pillow you don't have to turn over because it has a cool side. It always has a cool side no matter what you're doing when it comes to sleeping on it, and that's why My Pillow is amazing. Also, don't forget about those Giza Dream Sheets. Those Dream Sheets are coming with cotton that is grown in the beautiful Fertile Crescent, everybody. And they also have the softest cotton you're going to find anywhere in the land. So high thread count and cool sheets, that's what it's all about with My Pillow. So the sheets and, of course, the pillows, just use the promo code Jamie, and you're going to be knocked out by the great deals you're going to get by just using my code Jamie. MyPillow.com/Jamie.
Common Sense Radio with Allman in the morning on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
Give me land, lots of land, and the starry skies above. Don't fence me in. Let me ride through the wide open country that I love. Don't fence me in.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Mike Kaysen. How's your morning going this morning?
You know, it's absolutely been terrific.
Good, thank you. I didn't want to know that much.
Since I got this back.
Yes, you got your lanyard back.
Yeah.
You're right there, man. You're right in the swim of things. You learn. It's good, though. You live and learn. We can learn from each other. Well,
you'll learn.
You can learn from me.
Yeah, you'll learn. Wait till November.
Let's get. Dude, I can't wait until November.
I know
because you mean November of 2020?
Of 2020.
Actually, it's already coming up.
Isn't it close? It's amazing.
It's a year and a half away.
Yeah.
And you guys, I don't know what you guys are doing, but you're laying, what's all over the planet here. You've got Booker, Cory Booker. Now, Maxie, you sent me this soundbite, and is it clean? I'm assuming it is because Maxie's a pro, but I just want to make sure that it's Cory Booker's cussing apparently. So,
I believe it is. Yes.
Oh, well, that's not good enough. Well, I won't play that, but yet until we find out. But
I'll listen to it in queue right now.
All right, brother. Thank you. He's talking about the mass shootings, and he talks about how we have to solve this problem, and we need to take care of it right away. And he's another one of these guys who has this idea about guns, and this is like your thing, right? Because he
has a giant anti-gun program, which will be rejected by everybody in the United States because this country loves guns.
Yes.
Now, I haven't seen the whole plan, but it's probably not good enough for me because I have a simple plan. Take your guns.
I know, well, it's good.
Simple plan.
I like it. It's like the 999 Herman Cain
that's
thing.
right.
It's like take.
That's it.
Take.
Yep,
take
it's
your
all good.
food. Yeah, I mean, but that's. Oh, thank you, Maxie. But that's what this is all about here, because we have his idea, which is to have pre-screenings. We're going to have interviews. I'm going to personally Spartacus is going to personally interview everybody who's going to be getting a gun, because we have people who can't drive without an interview. It's like he's so dumb when I hate to use name calling, but that's just not smart. We do not have to be interviewed before we buy a gun. It'll never happen in the world ever, okay, in history. The other thing is Swalwell, who's another candidate for president, says that we should keep our guns. They're going to take our guns, but they're going to keep them in a shed for us so that we can come and take it when we need it. It's ridiculous. And here's one thing I want to correct you on, and you all out there in Radioland will understand this. We have to be careful about our language. Keep in mind when a person on the left says derisively that America loves guns, you need to respond automatically that you say, no, we love freedom, and we'll do anything to preserve it. That's what you need to answer to the people who talk about, because we love guns or love shooting, or we're just a bunch of Cro-Magnons who love shooting, which is actually fun. But I'm just saying, I do love guns. But the reason I have them is because I also love freedom. I love shooting them, but I also love my freedom.
Now, I can't get into your head as to why you or anybody else wants a gun, but I know that our culture is so destroyed by this gun-loving nonsense that it's very destructive to everything in our country. But you know what? Since I've been alive, people have loved these guns, and the fights have been out there to try to get rid of them. And I've learned, because I may be stupid, but I'm not that stupid. I've learned that you're not going to win the fight to end this gun nonsense. So just go to something else, because the guns are going to be ubiquitous here.
Well, I am concerned because so many police officers are dying because of people with guns. But
and
these are the bad people with guns. I know that's not being paid attention to very often, but you know how many people have been killed.
Many.
Officers since even May.
Which also proves my point. That having a gun doesn't really mean much, because these police officers have guns, and they have badges and uniforms and everything, and they are killed.
Well, right, but that doesn't make guns unnecessary. If your problem with guns is that people love them, then you want to ban rap songs and all these idiots out there who sing about killing people and sing with guns in their hands, But that's not the problem. And the other problem we have, though, too, is that we have law enforcement people who also push more gun control as an answer to their problems.
Because they don't want to be shot.
Well, no, that's true. And that's nobody wants to be shot. I understand that, and a police officer is no exception, not wanting to be shot.
There you are.
But that doesn't mean that you take steps that will keep law-abiding citizens from having guns. That's the problem. So I get it that nobody wants to be shot. I don't want to be shot. You don't want to be shot. A police officer doesn't want to be shot. But taking a gun from me isn't going to help that situation. It just isn't.
It's not worth arguing about because we're not going to get your guns. You win this one. I mean, when you win, I admit it. Now, you're not going to win with Donald J., but you're going to win with the guns.
You acted like when you win, I don't admit it.
No,
the tone of voice was the exact. When you win, I admit it. That's the tone of voice.
You lost the midterm elections, and you're still making excuses for it.
Well, you know what was great about it is we lost a couple of Republicans who didn't support Donald Trump. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
To punish them and make them suffer.
We'll see what you say in 2020. That's all. There's nothing else. I mean, I can't get into anybody's head on this, and we don't know for sure what's going to happen, but I think I can tell you that Democrats, if they don't even have transportation, if they're old, if they're whatever they are, they will crawl to the polls.
I know what you know
for
what,
this.
Let me tell you something. What Donald Trump will say after the 2020 election. I, Donald Trump, do solemnly swear.
He actually,
yes.
He says, he has said it in the past, and others have made the point here that he thinks that when he loses, that he can stay anyway.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, he does. He does.
No, he doesn't.
Cohen said it. Cohen said that this guy is not planning to leave.
You're really quoting a lying, underhanded Meyer Lansky model. Come on, man.
Does he lie more than Donald?
Yes.
Oh, come on.
Yes, he does.
Not according to the Washington Post.
Donald Trump isn't convicted of lying. Michael Cohen is.
Yeah, the Washington Post says that he's lied more than thousands of times.
So what? Again, who cares what the Washington Post says?
Yeah, well, see, the Washington Post, the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, all fake.
No, it's not a matter of fake. They're just irrelevant.
Yeah.
And they were in 2016.
Not according to Jefferson.
No. Who?
Thomas Jefferson. You forget him?
I didn't.
Yeah. He
says
says they're more
Thomas or George.
Yeah, he says that they are more important than the government, those newspapers. That's what he said.
Okay. I gotta grab that quote. What is it? What does he say? Really?
No, he says if he could have a government without newspapers or the media or the media without a government, he'd take the media.
Ooh. Well, that's one time where he was wrong.
Well, okay.
Take him off the nickel immediately. But no, that doesn't. Okay, I get at that time. Even then, though, the media was dealing in squalor. Even then, I mean, that's why John Adams was able to accuse his opponents of it was Jefferson who managed to accuse John Adams, I think, of being a hermaphrodite or something. I mean, back in those days, man, it was just as bad then as it is now.
Well, the point, I agree with it. It is. It's always been this way. We're a country, and this is what's so great about this country. We're a country that deals in ideas.
Yes.
And really, if we aim for the truth, which is very difficult for anybody to achieve, I'm not even blaming Donald, although he takes most of the blame for obvious reasons. But it's not always easy to determine what the truth is, and so you have to argue, and that's what's great because look, I don't know if you've seen the recent things. There's a report that was out this weekend about China where they put people on cameras and they rate how they speak, what they think, how they act. I mean, everybody in China's being watched, and you're supposed to call in on people if they're saying the wrong things, and so that's a George Orwell kind of existence. We don't want that.
It's not much different here.
We don't want that. Well, it is different.
No, because the media and Twitter, they're the little tattletale-y, creepy people in our midst. They're the worst people that you ever could think of in your class back in the day.
No, when you talk about worst people, I mean, you're talking about somebody like Newman who needs to suffer, politically and over this sort of thing because the government can't come after people in this country. because we do have that protection also.
Try being a conservative nonprofit.
Well, she tried
and the IRS will come after you. Try being a duly elected president, and the government will come after you because if your name is Donald Trump or you're a Republican or you're not the right kind of Republican, that's this government does go after people.
Yeah, we'll see about that when you and I take that trip to visit him in his orange jumpsuit. But, and Donald Jr., look where he's going. Yeah. Because, look,
Republicans are going to pay for that one.
Donald Jr. is going to come before the Senate.
Right.
And he's going to say, I take the Fifth Amendment. Now, here's the deal.
Good.
That's a right.
I hope he puts his middle finger up while he's doing it, too.
Yeah, we all have a right to take the Fifth Amendment. But what's going to happen is everybody's going to play the video of Donald J. saying that anybody who takes the Fifth Amendment is a liar.
Yeah.
So, okay.
And then we'll say, yeah, okay, whatever. What's for lunch? We're waiting for November 2020.
But that's the point. If you want to make words mean nothing, then that's the problem.
So you guys are going to run against Donald Trump Jr. now? Or
Donald Trump Jr. it's all his father.
I hope every Republican...
It's all the old man's fault.
I hope every Republican on that Judiciary Committee, Burr isn't running again. He's running to actually go on the lecture circuit once he gets out of office. And so I hope Burr goes down somehow, and these other guys on the committee are worthless. Rubio, Blunt, even Cotton. Cornyn is halfway decent. Susan Collins.
She's gone.
Yeah.
Well, she is gone.
Yeah,
because what she did with Kavanaugh is, that in her state that was unacceptable. She's gone.
I did see a little bit of Saturday Night Live because it kind of came on after the game.
It's pretty funny,
and it was for sure the Susan Collins thing was pretty funny.
Yeah, so was the Mitch McConnell thing.
Well, the guy didn't look like Mitch McConnell, though.
Sort of did.
No,
I
thought he did. He didn't do Mitch McConnell. He just because you wear wire-rimmed glasses doesn't make you Mitch McConnell. You know what I mean? That's the problem with Santa. That was bad, but that woman who did Susan Collins.
She was good.
Hey, Maxie, if you can find... I actually didn't flag any of that. If you can find any of that Susan Collins thing, it was pretty funny.
Cool. It was good.
It was good. All right, so speaking of comedy, your girl, Ocasio-Cortez, now says that she was just simply joking about her situation regarding the world ending in 12 years. And she says now that if you believe that the world will end in 12 years, you have the intelligence of a sea sponge. But as far as I know, when I listened to the tape of her talking about the world ending in 12 years, she seems pretty serious about it. This just doesn't sound like a comedy routine. I don't know. Let me play it for you here. You can be the judge.
And we're like, the world is going to end in 12 years if we don't address climate change. And your biggest issue is your biggest issue is how. So
was she? I need some volume on that, dude. Was she joking or was she just? It doesn't seem like it was comedy routine to me.
The world is going to end in 12 years if we don't address climate change. And your biggest issue is your biggest issue is how are we going to pay for it? And
I mean, so that doesn't sound like she's joking. So do you think she was joking? Or
I don't think it sounded like a joke at all.
No. So why is she saying it was one?
Wait. When she said it, there wasn't, for one small second, not for any part of our existence, did I believe, or probably anybody, that the world would end in 12 years. I mean, look, she probably misspoke, and she probably got all wound up in what she was saying.
12 years, 12 million years. Well, I can see how you can make a mistake.
Well, it will end in 4 billion years.
How do you know?
Well, that's what the scientists say. I mean, the scientists
Bill
say...
Bill Nye, the science guy. Hey, everybody, look at my bow tie. It makes me 10 times smarter than I am.
Yeah. Well, I wish it were true that we would be in some faraway place 4 billion years from now where we could have this discussion and I could say, I told you it would be, you know. But you know what? Yeah. We're gone.
Right, I know. I mean, I don't want to live to be 4 billion years
Well,
old.
you won't.
I would have run out of movies and music to see, and
Yep.
I've already been there, done that with everything. So yeah, let's go to John. He's on line 1. John, good morning this morning. John, thanks for calling the show. What's up, man?
I did some research, and I called Milbaugh's office. The only Republican on that committee that voted for Don Jr. to go the subpoena was Burr. Ruby and all those voted no. They did not want that to happen. So it was just him. And by the way, so I'm so glad Mark Kaysen confirmed this for me. Lois Lerner's a liar.
Well, yeah, but wait a minute though. Here's the thing. So how are you able to subpoena somebody with one vote on a committee?
Because there's only one extra vote for the Republicans, and just one guy going with the Dems gives you a simple majority.
Oh, I see. Okay, so where is Blunt? Because Blunt was pretty vocal on TV when he didn't want to declare a state of emergency, but I didn't see him on any television shows talking about how this was a disgusting move on the part of the committee. I haven't heard.
I agree.
I haven't heard from Cotton. I haven't heard from Collins. I haven't heard Marco Rubio anywhere. These guys normally don't meet a microphone that they don't fall in love with. But I haven't seen them talk once. You know who's attacking Bill Burr? Like Breitbart. That's about it. So
I agree with you. It's disgusting.
Right, I know. And I'm telling you, I believe that when you sit back and let this happen, and you're a Republican, and you haven't come out and attacked this move because it happens to be a colleague of yours, it's wrong. But you're right, though, John. I want to be factual, though. And make sure that about the voting, just to be clear. So I appreciate that very much, buddy. You can call Tammy.com real estate listener lines 844-855-1380. It's Common Sense Radio.
Call the show at 844-855-1380 and interact with Jamie on the calltammy.com listener line. That's 844-855-1380. More Allman in the Morning next on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer. Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
This one accident just won't go away. 141 northbound, right lane blocked before Tesson Ferry. 270 northbound, still a little bit slow there. Big Bend to Manchester. 55 southbound backed up. 64 to the 5544 underpass. 6440 eastbound, 170 to Big Bend. Westbound Hampton to Laclede Station Road slowing. And the westbound lanes of 255 remain closed across the Jefferson Barracks Bridge for emergency road work until further notice. This is after inspection crews found cracks in the steel beams of the bridge. Traffic is sponsored by TrainInfo.com Heating and Cooling. Enjoy comfort year-round with a new Train heating and cooling system. At Train, they test, so it runs. For a limited time, you can get a great deal on a qualifying new Train system. Visit TrainInfo.com to find your local dealer. That's TrainInfo.com. It's hard to stop a Train. I'm Bonnie Green with your St. Louis Metro traffic on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
All right, friends, Arrowhead Building Supply, arrowheadbuildingsupply.com. Rick Pogue and his team, I got to tell you, they have come up with another really amazing idea. I don't think there's any showroom in the country like this one, where they took a building and then they built a real-life home. And this is like a 3-story, awesome-looking house inside of a showroom. So it's a house that you could live in if you really needed to. And it's got all of the examples of the great items that Arrowhead Building Supply sells, all of the great home improvement items. I'm talking about the cedar shake siding. I'm talking about the copper guttering. I'm talking about vinyl siding. I'm talking about awesome vintage classical roofing shingles. You name it, they've got it at Arrowhead Building Supply. And you can see it, what it looks like right there in a home, and walk through it and see what all the kinds of countertop, I mean, you name it, they've got it. Now, on top of that, though, they have a contractor referral service as well. So you go in there and you're like, I really like that. At that point, then, you're taken to the Cube, which is this cool little thing, and that's another piece of passion that you can see with my friends over there. And you can plug your phone phone in there, download your picture of your house, and you'll be able to actually see what the siding looks like on your home in real life, like what that really is going to look like on your home before you make a decision. So it's all about convenience. It's all about having great contractors that they're going to refer you to. All that down the line. It's Arrowhead Building Supply, arrowheadbuildingsupply.com.
Business owners, self-employed, part-time employees, are you struggling to pay your bills because you no longer can afford your health insurance? Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. With Obamacare premiums skyrocketing, higher deductibles, and shrinking networks, let me introduce you to Dryden Camus Insurance Agency as the answer, the solution. Dryden Camus Insurance Agency has non-Obamacare ACA-compliant plans that do not fund abortion. There's no enrollment period, and you don't have to pay for expensive extras like pediatric dentistry or maternity care. Contact Joyce at Dryden Camus Insurance Agency and start saving up to 60%. Call 877-695-0245. That's 877-695-0245, or just go to kddi-ins.com. Cut through the confusion and save money with Dryden Camus Insurance Agency, serving Missouri and Illinois. This is the answer. This is the solution. Dryden Camus Insurance Agency. Just go to kddi-ins.com.
The Dana Show, this afternoon at 1. Now, more Allman in the Morning on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
Good morning this morning, everybody. Come on now.
Reality used to be a friend of mine. Reality used to be a friend of mine. Maybe why it's a question that's on your mind, but reality used to be a friend of mine. Reality used to be a friend of mine. Reality used to be a friend of mine. Please don't ask me because I don't know why, but reality used to be a friend of mine. I used to be friends with
So that Saturday Night Live, it just happened to come on. And it was the Meet the Press cold open on the show with Chuck Todd.
Hello, I'm Chuck Todd, and welcome to Meet the Press.
He doesn't even look like Chuck Todd, by the way. But I don't know. I guess you can't.
I hope you like my bangs. Something new I'm trying for the summer.
Actually, it's not something new. Chuck Todd has had that frontal comb thing going for a long time. And guys, listen, I'm not the authority on this because I also have thinned hair and balding hair and everything else. So don't take it from me. But when you comb your hair to the front and try to act like you're not balding, you look ridiculous. I'm just telling you. George Clooney, you looked really stupid when you did that with your hair. It's okay for you to have thinning hair. It's all right. It's good. But when you comb it in front like that, I don't know what you're thinking. It's kind of like that Blackbeard the Bigot dude. I don't know what you're thinking, dyeing your hair, your beard black like that and dyeing your eyebrows. It doesn't work. It just doesn't. Okay, well, I'll get to it in a second. But anyway, this was a good segment. It was actually funny because the Susan Collins one was really funny. They tried to do a Mitch McConnell, but I don't know, just throwing on some wire rim glasses to me doesn't really cut it. But this was really pretty funny, and I'll have that for you on the other side of the break, everybody. Good morning this morning. Call Tammy.com, real estate listener lines, 844-855-1380.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. More trouble in the Persian Gulf, where Saudi Arabia says 2 of its oil tankers have been damaged in a sabotage attack. It happened near the strategically important Strait of Hormuz. It's a major passageway for global oil shipments. Talking trade and tariffs, President Trump, he says China will be hurt very badly if it doesn't make a trade deal with the U.S. On Twitter this morning, the president writes, the unexpectedly good first quarter 3.2% GDP was greatly helped by tariffs from China. Some people just don't get it. Darian Vance goes to court later today. The 26-year-old Texas man arrested in connection with the disappearance of his 4-year-old stepdaughter in Houston. On Wall Street, Dow futures down 474 points. S&P futures off 55. More details at srnnews.com.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
Well, we've got a little bit of everything out there. An accident still causing problems on 141 northbound, a right lane block before Tesson Ferry, and 270 westbound starting to slow between Route 3 and Chain of Rocks Bridge. Now, westbound 44 still down to 1 lane at Grand for emergency construction after a storm water grate collapsed on Sunday. And the westbound lanes of 255 remain closed across the Jefferson Barracks Bridge for emergency roadwork until further notice after cracks were found in steel beams. Traffic is sponsored by TrainInfo.com Heating and Cooling. Enjoy comfort year-round with a new Train heating and cooling system. At Train, they test so it runs. For a limited time, you can get a great deal on a qualifying new Train system. Visit TrainInfo.com to find your local dealer. That's TrainInfo.com. It's hard to stop a train. I'm Bonnie Green with your St. Louis Metro traffic on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
1380 The Answer. Weather.
Major river flooding expected to continue through tonight. We'll have partly sunny skies today, the high 66. Mainly clear and cool tonight with a low of 47. Mostly sunny skies tomorrow, the high 72. Tomorrow night, mostly cloudy with a couple of thunderstorms around the high 58. We'll have mostly cloudy skies Wednesday with a passing shower and a high of 77. I'm Drew Shannon with your St. Louis Metro forecast on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
Rick Pogue here with Arrowhead Building Supply, the region's #1 specialty exterior building supplier. Arrowhead has the widest range of exterior products, from the most economical and commodity items to our highest-end outside elegance collection. If you need a contractor, Arrowhead supplies products to hundreds of the best contractors and builders in the business. Call us for a contractor referral and rest easy. The Arrowhead Cube Home Visualizer tool means you can upload an actual photo of your home and change it with just a touch of your finger. Now you can be 100% confident in your selections before they are installed in your home. Our product showrooms are the largest and most beautiful in the industry. We make it simple to experience a full range of siding, roofing, window, door, deck, and even stone options for your home or business. Check us out at arrowheadbuildingsupply.com or visit an Arrowhead showroom near you today in St. Peters, Missouri, Pee Wee, Missouri, and Fairview Heights, Illinois. Arrowhead Building Supply. Building supplies for building success. arrowheadbuildingsupply.com.
Greetings, St. Louis. This is Matthew Mitchell of the Matthew Mitchell Allstate Agency. Excited to welcome Jamie Allman back to St. Louis Radio. As a longtime supporter and sponsor of Allman in the Morning, my goal as his trusted advisor is to make sure that you are in good hands. With over 70 years of combined staff experience, my team of agents and I know how to make sure that you get the best value for the money you spend on your insurance. Is your insurance company currently hiding behind a website, out of town, or just a call center with no accountability to you or our community? Would you like to speak to the same person every time you call? Is there a new roof on your home? Do you have a teenage driver in your family? Has your credit score improved greatly over the last few years? You can email me at matthewmitchell@allstate.com, or you can call my agents at 855-QUOTE-ME. Folks, there is safety in numbers. Put the power of Allstate to work for you as America's largest and strongest insurance company. This is Matthew Mitchell of the Matthew Mitchell Allstate Agency. Again, the number to call is 855-QUOTE-ME.
Hey, want to talk with Jamie? Call 844-855-1380. 844-855-1380. And interact with Common Sense Radio. This is Allman in the Morning on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
Was filling me in on one of my favorite bands, PM Dawn, and it has some actual relevance to our topic of the day, because Phil was telling me that PM Dawn was ostracized by all these other guys in hip-hop because they were too positive. At least is that how it rolled, Phil?
Yeah, they were amongst a couple of them. TRS-1 was another one, and a whole group of them had come out at the same time with positive messages and kind of getting off the East-West gang thing. And,
yeah.
And Def Jam and all those guys kind of shut that whole thing down pretty quick and kept on with the hip-hop with the gangsters and all that, and that's what we ended up with. But PM Dawn was incredibly talented guys. Soul to Soul was another one, Jazzy B over there in England. A lot of English guys for some reason were bringing it over, but they shut it down, man. And Puff Daddy said no.
Yeah, well, that's too bad, man. I mean, they were popular for a while. I mean, I had, I bought their CDs But I didn't know that story. I'm surprised they should come out with that. They should come out talking about that, but because that's a crying shame. Coming up a little later on, we've got Jimmy Hoff, the Gateway Pundit, and we'll talk more about what's been going on down there in Venezuela, where Guaido is basically begging the U.S. to come down and intervene. I'm really proud of the United States. And I'm actually kind of proud of, well, even some of the Democrats out there who aren't taking the bait on this one in terms of military intervention. I know there's still some out there thinking, but so far we've been spared this idea that somehow President Trump, I'm surprised they haven't called him racist for not intervening there on behalf of all the Venezuelans. I don't know. I figured there was going to be some way that they were going to manage to twist this, but they actually didn't do it. Now, curiously enough, as I was saying earlier, I was very this deal with the Meet the Press thing and Susan Collins was very funny. But keep in mind, though, to a certain degree, you know why Saturday Night Live is making fun of Susan Collins in the way that they are. Now, keep in mind, I have done that with Nancy Blouse and like she was Katharine Hepburn on Golden Pond. I get that. And Susan Collins, I've made fun of her. But keep in mind the reason why she is such an easy target and clearly has something going on. I'm sure there's some kind of thing there that is a actual physical syndrome of sorts. Nancy Pelosi's just, kind of, she doesn't have anything wrong with her, but she does have a lot of things wrong with her, but it's not like a physical type of thing. I think Susan Collins actually has some kind of affliction. Isn't that right? Doesn't she have some kind of thing?
Yeah, it's a thing where it makes you sound like you're in the backseat of a bumpy ride in a car.
Yeah, but it's a real thing. Like it's a real affliction. Like it's a physical affliction that she has.
Oh, I feel bad.
Yeah, we should.
Damn.
Because every once in a while, and so that's why it's harder to make fun of her because it's like a physical. I think there's like something wrong with her, really. I mean, like physically wrong. And you guys might know what it is, but she's got some kind of affliction. So generally, you kind of avoid if somebody has a physical problem. I mean, yeah, I've made fun of One Eye Harry Reid, and I get it. But what I'm saying is the reason why they are not having a problem with this is because they hate Susan Collins for her Kavanaugh stand. That's why they're making fun of her that way. And that's why they chose to put her on the panel. They hate Mitch McConnell, and Lindsey Graham was a female, which is another thing odd about the left. Is now I again have I sometimes play the feminine heterosexual thing with him. I get it, but I do that all the time though. I do that with everybody. Making fun of everybody. But it's funny how Saturday Night Live won't make fun of certain people and will make sport of others, where if, in fact, like, for instance, especially Lindsey Graham, where you have these so-called enlightened people who will, talk about, like Lindsey Graham on his knees and Lindsey Graham with his blah, 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 that kind of stuff, where, like, they actually make, like, sexual references that they usually reserve for people like Ann Coulter or Laura Ingraham or any conservative woman out there. They normally will make rape jokes or things like that, which I find really odd. I find the sexual aggression of the left really bizarre. Considering who they are and who they purport to be, it always is very odd to me when the left will assuming that every homosexual is on their knees all the time, and that's the insinuation made with Lindsey Graham. I've made fun of his voice, but it's just funny that way. And he talks like that all the time. Al Gore was a little bit like that too. Al Gore, I won't start doing Al Gore, but anyway, But the reason why these guys are doing this is because they hate these guys. And you generally, if you just put the shoe on the other foot, you generally wouldn't have a mainstream comedy thing doing, for instance, you wouldn't, like Rachel Maddow would never be portrayed with a male character playing her on Saturday Night Live. Like, you'd never have, some male guy with lipstick on doing Rachel Maddow. It just would never happen. If it did, that would be funny. And or even if you did Chris Hayes as a female, but they would never do that on Saturday Night Live, which makes this not as funny as you might think it is. Only because you know that they only reserve this kind of comedy for a certain crew of individuals they can't stand, which is always concerning to me. And now keep in mind, these are people regarding Susan Collins, and I'm not taking this too seriously. I hope you don't think I'm overthinking this, but just think about it a little bit. Like, Susan Collins has a real physical affliction. And I don't know if somebody on Facebook can tell me. I think people know. It's like something. And so imagine how long people have disdained President Trump for waving his arms and making fun of the guy who's disabled, right? They thought he was, which actually he wasn't doing. But keep in mind, that's a big thing for people. Like, that's like, you even talk to these never Trumper people. It's like, yeah, but you know what? I'd vote for him again. But boy, the time he made fun of that disabled guy, I just can't get past it. You got it?
Spasmodic dysphonia.
So it's actually a thing.
Spasmodic dysphonia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's actually an affliction. It's like a physical affliction. So keep in mind how often this thing about President Trump making fun of the disabled has come up. And I'm not saying that that's a disability per se, but it still is a physical affliction. I mean, you wouldn't, make fun of somebody with cancer. You know what I mean? But because it's Susan Collins and they hate her, and hate her for her stance on Kavanaugh. That's really what it's about. They wouldn't know Susan Collins from Adam if it wasn't her stance on Kavanaugh. So it's actually pretty funny, but it's funny in a disturbing kind of way once you really think about it. Because at that point, then you realize, wow, they're making fun of a person with a disability. And Trump could never get it. Trump's been paying for that fake news thing that he did at the podium since he was elected. Making fun of the disabled. You know how big a deal that has been? So I'll play it for you. I mean, it's funny, but then you realize, wow, that's not really that funny. But it's funny because they hate her. And Susan Collins has made a name for herself as being... I don't particularly like her politics at all. I think she's a disruptor, and I think she is not a real Republican or not a real conservative, and so I think she's too swampy. But that doesn't mean that she deserves this, really. I mean, I have a sense of humor about things, but I would have a better sense of humor if it was ecumenical. If I knew Saturday Night Live would make fun of Nancy Pelosi, and I think sometimes they do, but not to the degree like this. And so I'm just I'm a little disturbed by it, but I'll play it.
Senator from Maine, Susan Collins.
I'm here and I have a lot to say, unless someone else wants to speak.
And Senate Judiciary Chairman and the GOP's latest bad boy.
Yeah, so they get into it where she's at some point she's
makes me want to shake my head vigorously and wag my finger once, perhaps twice.
Right.
So really what she looks like, this actress looks like, is actually that she's disabled. Like she looks like she's actually, if you look at the whole tape, she's actually like playing somebody who otherwise might be mentally disabled or like physically disabled. I'm not kidding you. And so all I'm saying is I'm not a prude when it comes to humor and comedy. I've said, I've made fun of, I've used Biafra Baby, and I do that routinely, but I do it with everybody, really. But in watching this, it kind of makes me a little bit nervous because I don't really think that anybody else would get away with this. I'm just saying. And President Trump has paid for something that actually didn't happen for heaven knows how long, and it was making fun of a disabled guy, and yet Saturday Night Live institutionalized it Saturday night with Susan Collins. Usually I don't pay too much attention to Saturday Night Live, but the hockey game was on, and the Blues, but that was a rough game. I'm a big believer in the Blues. I hope they win. But then I watched the Boston Bruins last night, and I don't know whether it's just that Carolina is terrible or that Boston is amazing, but it's going to get tougher as we go on. These teams are rough, man. I really hope. I think the Blues can do it, but they got to start beating somebody's heads in more. You have to really, these guys on Boston, and don't take this. I know this isn't a sports show, and I'm not a hockey aficionado, but I do believe in watching the game that the Blues need to punch people in the throat a little more because the Sharks and the Bruins, that's all they do is beat heads. Do we have a guy who's like, remember in the old days we had guys who were enforcers? Do we have any of those guys on the Blues? I know maybe somebody might mention it on Facebook if they do on the comment section, Phil, so keep an eye on that. But because we used to have somebody was always there who was like Kelly Chase or someone like that who was always there to put together a precise precision strike elbow in somebody's neck. But do we have one of those guys? Because we need one of those guys. Like a guy who just runs around and beats people up. Because that actually makes hockey really fun. The fights really make hockey fun. Don't you think, Phil? Do you ever watch him?
Who was that? I'm trying to remember the guy that I know who you're talking about. There was a guy we had years ago that was his job was to go out there and just beat people up.
One of them was Kelly Chase, but there's another one.
Yeah. He had a really good name, too, for the job.
Yeah, he did. He had like a thug name.
Yeah, it was... Yeah, I remember it.
Yeah. But you got to have somebody like that who runs around and just doesn't get a bunch of penalties, but manages to hurt people. I mean, not like disable them, but manages to punch people. Because those guys, the Sharks, are pretty good. They were like pushing people down and taking the puck and doing all kinds of things. We kind of need to do that. But look at me. I don't know how they. Tony Twist. Thank you, Maxie.
That's it, man.
Tony
Perfect.
Twist, man.
Yeah, man. He was brutal. It was mean.
We need a bruiser like that now. We need somebody who's out there basically, cutting throats.
Drawing penalties. That's like the only thing he did.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's not always good, but I got to tell you, man, it was tough watching the Blues, but they can't be too polite. All right, your phone calls are welcome. Call Tammy.com real estate listener line is 844-855-1380. It's Common Sense Radio.
More Allman in the Morning coming up on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer. Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
Well, finally, after a couple of hours, that accident on 141 northbound before Tesson Ferry has cleared. Now, we do have a big problem on 64 westbound. That's jammed up. Kings Highway to 55, 270 northbound tight, 44 to Manchester, westbound 367 to West Florissant. Big delays on 6440 eastbound. That is solid from Boone's Crossing to Big Bend, and then westbound Kings Highway to Laclede Station Road backed up. And the westbound lanes of 255 remain closed across the Jefferson Barracks Bridge for emergency roadwork. Traffic is sponsored by Express Services, Inc. You work hard. You know what it takes to succeed. Now it's time to put your experience to work and launch your business. For a limited time, Express Employment Professionals will give you $25,000 to open your franchise. Get to know Express. Visit expressfranchising.com today. I'm Bonnie Green with your St. Louis Metro traffic on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
Good morning this morning. And Proctor Drapery, Proctor spelled like Dr. ProctorDrapery.com. You know, I'm telling you, I get such joy out of being a friend of Michael's. And Michael is a really good guy. Michael is the kind of guy that if you have him over to your house just to look at your windows and that kind of stuff, you'll actually become friends with him. It's kind of one of those things where he's so engaging and his personality is perfect for this job, which is a 7-day-a-week mobile design unit, interior design job. And so when Michael comes into your house, actually there's no airs about him at all in terms of how you're going to communicate. And it's great. It's interesting to have that kind of vibe when you're working on home improvement, that kind of stuff, because people come in and instantly you have a rapport with him. And he's going to tell you all about his awesome things, like the 100 Douglas motorized shades that he installed in here. Thank you very much for that cameo role in the Allman in the Morning Live spot here of the 100 Douglas shade, which is awesome. You can put those in your office or your home or whatever, and you're James Bond automatically. But they're really exquisite and lovely. And then you also have the Norman shutters, the plantation shutters, which are absolutely beautiful and all the rage these days, and the side panels. And the great thing about Michael is you don't have to really do anything. You don't even have to work your mind if you don't want to, and just say, hey, listen, find something that looks great here, please, and he'll do it. And he'll absolutely do it with your approval, obviously, in the end, but he'll do it. And so it's all full service. He competes with all the luxury guys who, by the way, are not going to be able to compete with him in terms of price and value. So check it out on the web. It's Proctor spelled like Dr. ProctorDrapery.com.
KXFN, St. Louis, K287BY, St. Louis.
Business owners, self-employed, part-time employees, are you struggling to pay your bills because you no longer can afford your health insurance? Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. With Obamacare premiums skyrocketing, higher deductibles, and shrinking networks, let me introduce you to Dryden Camus Insurance Agency as the answer, the solution. Dryden Camus Insurance Agency has non-Obamacare ACA-compliant plans that do not fund abortion. There's no enrollment period, and you don't have to pay for expensive extras like pediatric dentistry or maternity care. Contact Joyce at Dryden Camus Insurance Agency and start saving up to 60%. Call 877-695-0245. That's 877-695-0245, or just go to kddi-ins.com. Cut through the confusion and save money with Dryden Camus Insurance Agency, serving Missouri and Illinois. This is the answer. This is the solution. Dryden Camus Insurance Agency. Just go to kddi-ins.com.
America's First News with Matt Ray gets you up to speed. Mornings from 4 to 6, right before Allman in the Morning on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
Good morning this morning, everybody. These guys who come out because of the anti-gun people, and I'm so glad Kaysen actually referred to them as anti-gun. You got to hand it to Kaysen. At least he tells the truth about what people are. You don't hear these people talking about gun safety legislation, which really is such a lie. We actually have gotten to the point at some point in this country where we just accept politicians in the media that just rename stuff and look us straight in the eye and say, yeah, it's gun safety legislation. It's like, no, it's not. It's gun control. You want to control guns. Well, no, it's gun safety. Same thing they did with global warming was a big deal until, of course, it wasn't true. Then they had to come up with climate change. So now anything that happens as it relates to some weather event, it doesn't matter whether it's a tornado or a gigantic snowstorm or a freeze or whatever it happens to be, they can put it into that category of climate change and another reason to suffocate your business or make you stop driving SUVs or increase the price of gasoline or come up with wind-powered airplanes. And it's crazy, but they just, that's what they've done. And we let it happen. The biggest thing, the one thing that really did work, climate change and gun safety legislation haven't really caught on. They haven't worked. I mean, they've been menacing to a certain degree, but they really haven't worked. But what did work ultimately was Obamacare. And that was when they just called it health care. And so you're asked, well, do you agree with health care? I'm like going, well, yeah. I'm a big fan of health care. I think health care is good. Oh, well, then good. Okay, then Obamacare. No. I'm not saying I agree with Obamacare, but yes, I am for health care. But it became a thing, though, suddenly, where they called it health care, and then when you were opposed to it, which was actually Obamacare, when you were opposed to it, you were a horrible person. You were not a person who was, you were Cro-Magnon. The guy over there, he's against health care. It's like, no, I'm not. I'm just against the way you guys are doing this. You know, I love the fact that the Trump administration, some people might call this too much government, but I think there's not enough when it comes to the pharmaceutical business, when it comes to the pricing and the transparency and pricing of these pharmaceuticals. And again, I'm all for a drug company when it has a drug making all the money it can make if this drug is successful. I mean the guys who make all kinds of great drugs that control certain things and help people, I'm more power to them. But the problem is the government isn't making it a level playing field. That's the problem. There's actually too much government intervention on that level. And the great example of that is drug pricing and the generic drug market. Obama came in and made it so hard for generic drug companies to put their drugs to market. It's expensive through the paperwork and all you have to do. And so they were the same as the regular drug makers. And so that's why you don't see as many generics as you used to, or the generics are just as expensive because it's just as expensive for them to bring them to market as it is the name brand ones. And that's because Obama made that happen, because Obama was a slave to the pharmaceutical industry. But that was one change that we could have made that would reduce the cost of health care. Obamacare was supposed to do that. It didn't. It was supposed to make people more healthy. It didn't. And more people insured. It didn't. And so they called it health care. We bought it. Republicans bought into it. They still don't have a way to replace it, or when we've been trying for years to get certain things like mobility of insurance plans passed and all that kind of stuff, but it never happened. And now we're hearing Joe Biden say we should have everybody deserves to be treated, and we're like, well, they are already. Medicare demands, there's nobody turned away from an emergency room. It doesn't matter whether you're an illegal alien or not. So watch out for the wordsmiths out there. Call Tammy.com real estate listener lines 844-855-1380.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. The other shoe has dropped in the trade standoff with China. Beijing announcing it's raising tariffs to 25% on $60 billion in American goods. It's in retaliation for the U.S. hiking tariffs to 25% on $200 billion worth of Chinese imports. China's tariff on American goods scheduled to take effect on June 1st. President Trump warns that China will be hurt very badly if it doesn't agree to a trade deal with the U.S.
With new tariffs on $200 billion of Chinese imports taking effect, the president says China is at most economic risk. He tweets that companies will be forced to leave China for other countries because it's too expensive to buy there. The president also claims that American consumers won't be hurt by the tariffs on Chinese goods, but White House economic advisor Larry Kudlow admits both U.S. consumers and businesses will pay. Greg Clugston, Washington.
And Wall Street appears headed for heavy losses when the opening bell sounds in about a half hour. Right now, stock futures down 2% or more. Saudi Arabia says two of its oil tankers suffered significant damage in a sabotage attack on the vessels in the Persian Gulf near the Strait of Hormuz. One of the vessels was to be loaded with crude bound for the U.S. Swedish prosecutors revisiting the rape case against WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange.
The development was announced at a news conference in Stockholm by Sweden's Deputy Director of Public Prosecutions, Eva-Marie Persson. Ms. Persson said she was reopening the case, an allegation of rape by Julian Assange in 2010, because there was still probable cause to suspect him.
That's BBC correspondent Stuart Hughes reporting. Well, looks like it's going to be a painful day on Wall Street. Right now, futures deep in the red. Dow futures down 508 points for a loss of right around 2%. S&P futures off 57. NASDAQ futures down 198 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
It's a very busy Monday out there. The westbound lanes of 255 remain closed across the Jefferson Barracks Bridge for emergency roadwork until further notice after crews found cracks in the steel beams of the bridge. 64 westbound, big delay there. 255 to 55's jammed up. 270 northbound, 44 to Manchester's a little bit tight. 55 southbound, 64 to the 55-44 underpass slowing. And 6440 eastbound, Boone's Crossing to Timberlake Manor, Lindbergh to Big Bend heavy. Westbound, it's Kings Highway to Laclede Station Road. Traffic is sponsored by Indeed.com. Indeed, used by over 3 million businesses for hiring, where business owners and HR professionals can post job openings with screener questions. Then sort, review, and communicate with candidates from an online dashboard. Learn more at Indeed.com/hire. I'm Bonnie Green with your St. Louis Metro traffic on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
1380, The Answer. Weather.
Major river flooding expected to continue through tonight. We'll have partly sunny skies today, the high 66. Mainly clear and cool tonight with a low of 47. Mostly sunny skies tomorrow, the high 72. Tomorrow night, mostly cloudy with a couple of thunderstorms around the high 58. We'll have mostly cloudy skies Wednesday with a passing shower and a high of 77. I'm Drew Shannon with your St. Louis Metro forecast on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
I'm Lou Dobbs. The Pentagon transfers $1.5 billion to build the wall on the southern border. Delta Airlines begins free Wi-Fi tests today. Walmart ditches Brazil e-commerce. Those stories next.
If you are a timeshare owner, please listen to this message. I'm Karen, owner of Lone Star Transfer. If you are an unhappy timeshare owner, you probably want to get out of it as smoothly and rapidly as possible. Put this on your spring clean to-do list. Give us a call and let us do for you what we have done for over 8,000 others across the country. Our process is legal, ethical, and best of all, it's done quickly. Lone Star Transfer is a family-owned business, and we have an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau and a 99% success rate. We will personally make sure your experience is a pleasant one. Don't let another day go by living under the burden and expense of your unwanted timeshare. Start your spring cleaning today by giving us a call for a no-obligation consultation at 844-284-4863. That's 844-284-4863. Or visit us online at LoneStarTransfer.com.
Defense Secretary-designate Patrick Shanahan authorized the transfer of $1.5 billion to build more than 80 miles of barriers on the U.S.-Mexico border. He says $600 million of the money comes in savings from accounts for Afghan security forces. There are already 5,000 members of the U.S. military serving along the Mexican border. Beginning today, passengers on Delta Airlines part of a 2-week test. The carrier offering free Wi-Fi service, and the free Wi-Fi flights will change daily. Delta will determine whether enough passengers use the service to justify it system-wide. Walmart closing its e-commerce operations in Brazil. The giant retailer says it will concentrate on brick-and-mortar stores in South America. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 o'clock and 10 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Let's face it, we love Alexa, and we love to let her find your favorite radio station. This one, of course. We love it, too, when she finds us. But she could find us easier if we taught her a simple skill. To get started, simply say, Alexa, enable the Answer St. Louis skill. After she confirms, you can then say, Alexa, play the Answer St. Louis. That's all you have to do, and Alexa will learn how to find us. You can listen to us through your Amazon Echo, Echo Show, Echo Dot, and Amazon Tap devices. Alexa, what is your favorite radio station?
That's easy. 1380 and 105.3, The Answer.
This is a special alert for Americans who owe more than $10,000 in back taxes. Get ready for a toll-free hotline number. Call and get free information on how to take advantage of new initiatives that could significantly reduce or even eliminate your tax debt. Call Stop IRS Debt today at 800-893-8907. Learn how you can stop collection calls, IRS letters, bank levies, and wage garnishments, all by using a proven A-plus BBB rated tax system that negotiates with the IRS for you. If you haven't filed returns in years or you're already in a payment plan, you can still get tax relief. The government is ready to work out a generous program that can resolve your tax debt quickly. Be warned, this situation won't last forever and your tax debt will only get worse if you don't act now. Do not try to handle it yourself. Call Stop IRS Debt now for free information. 800-893-8907. That's 800-893-8907. 800-893-8907.
Common Sense Radio with Allman in the morning on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
Give me land, lots of land, and the starry skies above. Don't fence me in. Let me ride through the wide open country that I love. Don't fence me in. Let me be by myself in the evening breeze. Listen to the murmur of the cottonwood trees. Send me off forever, but I ask you please. Don't fence me in. Don't fence me in. Just turn me loose. Let me straddle my own saddle underneath the western
The news
sky.
this morning is that China is now putting tariffs on U.S. goods. And I haven't been able to really kind of adequately, and if you're in a business that you're concerned about with the Chinese goods, I would love to hear from you, because I don't believe the media when they tell me certain things are going to be happening, because I know that they talk about, and the market is going to tumble. It doesn't matter, okay? Unless you're going to cash out today of your 401k, it doesn't make a beans of difference that the market is tumbling because of the U.S.-China trade war. And it doesn't matter even still whether or not we're actually going to see some increased tariffs on U.S. goods as China is suggesting. But the bottom line is I'm trying to figure out exactly what this means. I mean, everybody's telling me that things are going to be more expensive, but I don't know what it is. Like I know that for farmers, it's a problem to a certain degree because of their exports. But my feeling is, at what point are we going to put America first? At what point are we going to put America first? And if somebody is suffering through this like a farmer, first of all, consider all of the ways in which our governments actually support farmers as it is. So if you're a farmer receiving or the recipient of price supports or other kinds of agricultural largesse, that seems to be, I mean, come on, every time you turn around, there's an ag bill, right? I have yet to see a carpenter bill or a pipe fitter bill or an accounting professional bill. But agriculture is one of the most heavily supported by the government industries in the land. So if you're heavily supported by the government, I'm not saying all farmers out there are taking money from the government. I'm not saying that. I'm not accusing government farmers of being welfare recipients either. You all know about that. I'm not being, I'm not trying to put down your industry. But I am saying there's a large segment of the agriculture population that has benefited greatly from government input, government subsidies, and government breaks. And so if we're in a trade war with China and you're receiving government help like that, maybe you want to support this move and figure out how a level playing field can benefit you at some point. And again, maybe I'm wrong, 844-855-1380, in terms of my understanding of this. And I'm admitting that I'm not an expert on how this whole thing rolls. But at some point, when are we going to just say, yeah, you know, I'll pay a little bit more for whatever this is? And usually it's really actually not. I heard some fact about something that was going to go up, you know, like 60 cents or something. It's like, okay, that's fine. Or $3 or whatever. No, not avocados. No, yeah, that was the Mexico thing. We had the avocado crisis. What a bunch of garbage that was. Remember that whole thing? Avocado. Remember it was about closing the border and how terrible it was for avocados. I mean, that's the best thing the media could come up with, was the fact that it might put a crimp on our avocados. I mean, can you believe that? Honey, come here. We're going to have an avocado crisis. What's an avocado? Never mind. Is that some kind of nut? I mean, most people, come on. Avocados are good, make no mistake. And I'm not trying to say that people don't know what one is or are a bunch of rednecks. What I'm saying is, come on. Most people don't care. But that was the whole thing. And that was I was like, if that's all you got, I'm fine. And just because some cheap-ass thing from China is going to go up, it's fine. We're probably paying not that much for it as it is. Although, obviously, I could pick up anything here probably. Bet you this coffee mug was made in China, you think? My American flag coffee mug? Yeah.
We told our kids toys were from China when they were little kids, and everything, said made in China on it, so they believed it. So all their toys are from China. But
I just picked this up. It's a Teleflora gift. I don't know how you guys got this, but
yeah, that's my wife.
But this American flag cup, I just picked it up because I never knew it, but I just guessed. But this American flag cup was made in China. So what is this going to be? Instead of $4.99, it's going to be $5.99. I don't care. I mean, it's not like I made a money, but you know what I'm saying. I mean, it's just kind of, what is going to be the impact here? And finally, isn't that what war is all about? Sacrifice. So maybe that's what we need to do finally, for once in this country, is finally take it on the chin a little bit and figure out where to go and what to do. I bought a new American flag for my home, but that was made in America, man. After the windstorm, I literally ripped my flag apart.
You retired the 1812 relic?
I did.
Nice.
Although it's still sitting in my room right near the outside, and I don't know really what to do with it. Like, do I really burn that? I do burn it? Yeah. I will, I guess. There's something about burning the American flag, even if it's tattered, doesn't sit well with me. But I guess I'll do it. But I want to make sure that's what I do with it. Don't be going, oh, I think so, because I don't want to burn American.
I'm not sure. So yeah, like, is that you drop a Bible, you're supposed to kiss it, and drop a flag, or you retire a flag. You're not supposed to throw it in the trash. I know that. So
I won't do that.
No, what else can you do with it?
So all I need is the garbage man humiliating me by taking it out and putting it and stabbing it into my front lawn. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying garbage man derisively. I'm just saying the guy who does what do you call him, waste manager or something? Whatever. I don't want them to stab it or stick it into like my car windshield. Here's your, some, veteran or something.
I did 2 tours, yeah, bro, right?
Yeah. Thanks for leaving me a note, a humiliating note. I did 2 tours in Iraq, and you threw your flag in the garbage. It's just stuck into my...
Somebody's saying you can't burn it on Facebook, so...
I can't burn it on Facebook, or I can't burn it...
You can't burn it on Facebook Live. Somebody said you can't burn it.
I wouldn't dare. That's antithetical.
Take to the post office?
No.
I don't know. That's what somebody said.
Yeah. That's all I need is the post. I beg your pardon. I'm not throwing your trash away.
American Legion, VFW.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Don't be bringing your trash into this post office. Lack of preparation on your part is not an emergency on my part. Get your ass out my post office. But no, I would have a. So I'm going to take it to the American Legion. All right, I'm going to bone up on this. I'll figure it out. So I'm glad I didn't. The burning thing wasn't right as it is. There's something about it. And secondly, that's all I need is to have, somebody drone shot me in my backyard burning an American flag. Like Media Matters. Look at Jamie Allman burning an American flag. So much for that. We caught on tape Jamie Allman burning an American flag. Somebody did tell me one time to burn it, but they are?
Now people are saying burn or bury.
Oh, bury. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I might bury it. That'd be cool, actually. I got a 100-plus-year-old home, and by the time I'm dead and gone, it'd be great. Like somewhere down the line, somebody digs up an old flag from that house. That's what I'm going to do, with a note on it. I'm going to take a...
This was not from 1812. This is a windstorm in 2017 or something, because I don't know what did that to your flag.
No, you know what I
amazing.
should do is they take one of those wood burner things, those little wood burner things that nobody has anymore.
Nobody has, right?
But take one of those wood burner things and say, remember the Alamo. Or something like that. Somebody, this is from the Alamo. Well, how'd it get here? I don't know, but it says remember the Alamo on it. But no, I would do something like that. That's a cool idea, is to bury it. As long as I can really bury it. Don't be telling me the wrong thing, because I'll do whatever you tell me to do.
Eagle Scouts do a ceremony where they get rid of them too. So
okay.
Apparently.
That would require me to find Eagle Scouts someplace. Excuse me, are you an Eagle Scout? Handing my tattered flag going up to every 14-year-old. Are you an Eagle Scout? Then I get arrested. I should rent a van. Rent a van and drive around. Are you an Eagle Scout? That'll go over really well in the neighborhoods. No, but I don't know. I'll take care of it. Why was I talking about that? Oh, because this was a flag I bought at a hardware store, and it was made in America. It was one of those Valley Forge, flags that they had. The stars are all knitted, and it's bright, and the stars are all knitted by a young Vietnamese child. I'm just kidding. No, it's made in America. So yeah, and it's sewn beautifully and everything else. So I really like it. All right, so I want to get back ultimately to these guys because of this Second Amendment deal. I always have keep in mind, I think obviously law enforcement is a dangerous line of work, and any advantage you can give to law enforcement in terms of a fight or an arrest and that kind of thing, I get. I always worry, though, when law enforcement starts to become a tool of the gun control guys. And because I understand that we want reasonable restrictions on guns. I get that. Reasonable restrictions on access to them, but we already have reasonable restrictions. And we already have a situation where, the whole national background check was something that ultimately even the NRA at one point supported. I know that it hasn't really necessarily happened yet. But when you look at where guns come from and the life of a gun, they're either stolen by criminals from law-abiding citizens, or they are acquired by somebody who stole them from law-abiding citizens, or they're purchased by someone who becomes a criminal. And you really can't really avoid that. Part of the problems with having a liberated, free society is that you're going to have liberated, free people who are not doing the right thing and actually infringing on liberty and freedom. And so those are the people, but you have to attack it at the right place. I'll tell you one quick story here, because then we got a break here. But and get to and Jimmy's going to come at 8:30. But one of the things that is important to remember is that we had one time Jennifer Joyce, when she was circuit attorney, she automatically added like 40 years to every crime committed with a gun, and would add a armed criminal action, which is really the punishment for when you see somebody charged with multiple counts. There are, there's burglary, or let's put it this way, there's assault or attempted murder, and then armed criminal action, and that usually is associated with the use of a gun. The problem is that it's the first thing that's bargained out. It's the first thing that's plea bargained out, and getting a guilty plea, whatever. But I guarantee you, if you sent somebody to jail an extra 40 years because they actually committed a crime with a gun, you'd have a lot of influence on the use of a gun in crimes and gun crimes and gun violence, for that matter. Because right now there's very little punishment for doing with a gun what you could do with a knife or your fist. Actually, it's still attempted murder, but the gun aspect isn't there anymore, and isn't there much. And now we have all these circuit attorneys who are social activists now, and you're not going to get any of that. You're not because everybody's like, oh, that poor boy, he didn't do nothing wrong. It's like that's the kind of attitude they have, and so they just don't even care anymore about prosecuting things to where they should be. And that's the problem when you have these activist circuit attorneys in these hellholes. Baltimore, St. Louis, and Chicago, these criminal infested hellholes in some parts of St. Louis at least. And there's nobody this circuit attorney we have now, come on. Corrupt as his day is long. You think she's sending people to jail for, she's sticking it to him for committing crimes with guns? Hell no. Hell no. Hey, call Tammy.com real estate listener lines, 844-855-1380. It's Common Sense Radio.
More Allman in the Morning coming up on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer. Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
Well, a new accident causing a very big delay. 270 southbound, stop and go from Dorset to before Olive Boulevard, where two left lanes are blocked with that crash. We can see it from the jam cam at Olive. We've also got a huge delay on 64 westbound between Kings Highway and 55. That's stop and go. Northbound 270 slows, Big Bend to Manchester. Westbound 367 to West Florida, or to New Halls Ferry, rather. And 6440 eastbound, Chesterfield Parkway west to Timberlake Manor, then Spady to Big Bend Jam westbound, slows at Kings Highway. Traffic is sponsored by TrainInfo.com Heating and Cooling. Enjoy comfort year-round with a new Train heating and cooling system. At Train, they test so it runs. For a limited time, you can get a great deal on a qualifying new Train system. Visit TrainInfo.com to find your local dealer. That's TrainInfo.com. It's hard to stop a train. I'm Bonnie Green with your St. Louis Metro traffic on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
All right, check it out at michaelsflooringoutlet.com. By now, maybe you already received your tax refund, and if you did, then you are in the swim, because right now Michael is giving you $500 off any kind of project you happen to do. It doesn't matter whether you're a home or business. You're getting beautiful carpeting, all kinds of different varieties of carpeting. You're getting the brand new deal, which is fantastic, and that is the luxury vinyl. And the luxury vinyl is just amazing. This is for those of you who, let's even pretend that you have a home, and maybe you're not going to be there very long. And so, you once you have all your babies, once you have all this, you're going to be moving away, but you're going to be there for 10 years or so. So you don't want to invest in like the really heavy artillery, like the stone or that kind of thing. What you really want is something that kind of looks like it, or wood or whatever. The luxury vinyl is a perfect way for you to kind of get something and not break the bank. It's like a step below the real stuff, but it looks beautiful. And Michael has some really great options for you there at michaelsflooringoutlet.com. Now with $500 off, and you're going to get the best installation in the land and the most variety you can find anywhere in the land. It's Michael's Flooring Outlet, michaelsflooringoutlet.com.
Curtains, shades, blinds, shutters. What are the best for living rooms or bedrooms? Let me tell you about the quality customized service you will receive when you call Michael Proctor at Proctor Drapery. Michael Proctor is an interior designer with exceptional expertise when it comes to window treatments for your home or business. Michael Proctor has served our St. Louis area since 1974 with the highest quality and value for custom drapery, blinds, shades, and shutters. He is also a top-tier Hunter Douglas priority dealer and your first choice for Norman Plantation shutters. Call Michael Proctor today and schedule your in-home consultation with Michael's mobile design unit. He will come to you. Weekend and evening appointments are available. The one-on-one appointment with Michael Proctor will ensure the look is exactly what you're looking for in your home or business. Cut down on the risk of error and make your home great again. Proctor Drapery is the answer. Schedule your appointment today with Michael. Contact Michael at proctordrapery.com. It's Proctor spelled like doctor.
Hey, don't just listen to Allman in the Morning. See the show at theanswerstl.com. Now, more Allman in the Morning on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
I love you, a bushel and a peck, a bushel and a peck, and a hug around the neck, a hug around the neck, and a barrel and a heap, a barrel and a heap, and I'm talking in my sleep about you.
There's a gem right there, Doris Day.
About you.
Passing away at the age of 97.
I love you, a bushel and a peck.
She's a cutie pie, Doris Day was. Man. Aw. 97 years old, lived a good life, obviously, and such a classic American.
I love you, a bushel and a peck, a bushel.
Can you imagine these guys back in the day being as like political and involved in everything as they are now? Like that would have ruined everything. You know? I mean, even like again, you guys know me. I'm not a shut up and sing guy, because I think that if you have a platform and you have a certain point of view, I don't blame you for using that platform and that point of view. I'm lucky because I have a microphone 4 hours every single morning, 5 days a week. So I'm lucky and privileged to be able to do that. So if you're an actor or a singer or an athlete and you happen to want to chime in politically or do whatever, then knock yourself out. But I don't get these people who are this obsession in Hollywood, though, with the hatred and the like the Robert De Niro stuff, which is really disgusting. I mean, the guy is really vile. And I can't. And there are sometimes I can separate things. Like I love Bruce Springsteen's music, and I always will, and I still listen to it, and I'll still buy a couple songs on iTunes. I don't agree with his politics, but he's not. He's said some things here and there, but he's not like just obsessed with this Trump thing. But De Niro and all these other people are, and they hate you more than anything. That's the real problem I have, is they actually hate you. And that's always, that was the Hillary Clinton problem. It's like it's one thing to be in disagreement with President Trump on matters and run against him and have your own ideas, but when you hate people who are voting for your opponent, and you're so unabashedly hateful and disdainful, that's a pretty big turnoff. So I can't really watch De Niro movies anymore. You know what I'm saying? Darn it! I almost made that too. Shoot, that was really close. One more bowl of Wheaties and I've been fine. Hey, Jimmy Hoff straight ahead, 844-855-1380.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. The other shoe is dropped in the trade stalemate with China. Beijing announcing it's raising tariffs to 25% on $60 billion worth of American goods. It's retaliation for the U.S. hiking tariffs to 25% on $200 billion worth of Chinese imports. A stock market reaction. Stock futures sharply lower just moments before the opening bell. Saudi Arabia says 2 of its oil tankers suffered significant damage in a sabotage attack on the vessels in the Persian Gulf near the Strait of Hormuz. She was one of Hollywood's brightest stars in the 50s and 60s, had a successful recording career as well. Doris Day has died. The singer and actress died today at home in California. She was 97. At the opening bell, the Dow down 464 points. More details at srnnews.com.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
One accident really making a mess of things on 270 southbound. You're jammed up now from 70 to before Olive Boulevard, where 2 left lanes still blocked with that crash. We can see it from the jam cam at Olive. And you've got a big delay still on westbound 64 between Kings Highway and 55. 270 northbound, barely a delay here. Doherty Ferry Road to Manchester is a little tight. 55 southbound 64 to the 5544 underpass backs up, and 6440 eastbound Lindbergh to Big Bend heavy, westbound Hampton to Laclede Station. Traffic is sponsored by Indeed.com. Indeed, used by over 3 million businesses for hiring, where business owners and HR professionals can post job openings with screener questions. Then sort, review, and communicate with candidates from an online dashboard. Learn more at Indeed.com/hire. I'm Bonnie Green with your St. Louis Metro traffic on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
1380 The Answer. Weather.
Major river flooding expected to continue through tonight. We'll have partly sunny skies today, the high 66. Mainly clear and cool tonight with a low of 47. Mostly sunny skies tomorrow, the high 72. Tomorrow night, mostly cloudy with a couple of thunderstorms around the high 58. We'll have mostly cloudy skies Wednesday with a passing shower and a high of 77. I'm Drew Shannon with your St. Louis Metro forecast on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
Rick Pogue here with Arrowhead Building Supply, the region's #1 specialty exterior building supplier. Arrowhead has the widest range of exterior products, from the most economical and commodity items to our highest-end outside elegance collection. If you need a contractor, Arrowhead supplies products to hundreds of the best contractors and builders in the business. Call us for a contractor referral and rest easy. The Arrowhead Cube Home Visualizer tool means you can upload an actual photo of your home and change it with just a touch of your finger. Now you can be 100% confident in your selections before they are installed in your home. Our product showrooms are the largest and most beautiful in the industry. We make it simple to experience a full range of siding, roofing, window, door, deck, and even stone options for your home or business. Check us out at arrowheadbuildingsupply.com or visit an Arrowhead showroom near you today in St. Peters, Missouri, Peebly, Missouri, and Fairview Heights, Illinois. Arrowhead Building Supply. Building supplies for building success. arrowheadbuildingsupply.com.
Business owners, self-employed, part-time employees, are you struggling to pay your bills because you no longer can afford your health insurance? Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. With Obamacare premiums skyrocketing, higher deductibles, and shrinking networks, let me introduce you to Dryden Camus Insurance Agency as the answer, the solution. Dryden Camus Insurance Agency has non-Obamacare ACA-compliant plans that do not fund abortion. There's no enrollment period, and you don't have to pay for expensive extras like pediatric dentistry or maternity care. Contact Joyce at Dryden Camus Insurance Agency and start saving up to 60%. Call 877-695-0245. That's 877-695-0245, or just go to kddi-ins.com. Cut through the confusion and save money with Dryden Camus Insurance Agency, serving Missouri and Illinois. This is the answer. This is the solution. Dryden Camus Insurance Agency. Just go to kddi-ins.com.
Dennis Prager, this morning at 11. Now, more Common Sense Radio with Allman in the morning on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
Like of people like walking, you know, like how I guess it's like caught without makeup, or you know, those kind of things that people do, where they get pictures of somebody from like a telescope camera walking with sunglasses on. They talk about how deteriorating they are and everything else, and that's about it. But there's really I don't know whether it was the photography back then, or what it was, but back in those days, there's some good pictures being taken of people. Classy. You know what I mean? Jimmy Hoff, the Gateway Pundit. Jimmy! Good morning this morning, Jim. How you doing, man?
Great, Jamie. Good to be with you.
Yes, and you know what? I'm so glad that you didn't ever listen to Karl Rove when he wrote his now infamous, or at least it should be, editorial in the Wall Street Journal telling President Trump to basically say, never mind now that the Mueller investigation is over, because you're right on top of the latest, which I'm so hoping that Barr has all these people in a Nuremberg box by the end of the year. And because you have the latest story is the Christopher Steele, this dossier. What's the latest on that?
Well, we put up a story this morning. My brother, who you've met, he's in Hong Kong. He does some late night work for me, and he does it just because he loves his country and wants to get the truth out. But we found that there's a discrepancy between this PP dossier. It was probably one of the most wild accusations thrown against Trump. Really just outrageous and scandalous, and probably one of the worst things they could have said about this man. And the Democrats pretend to this day like it was true about these prostitutes in the Russian hotel and the disgusting acts they said were happening. Of course, there was never any proof for that. It sounded to me the first time I read it, Jamie, like it was a couple drunks at a bar, scribbled it down on paper and were laughing, doing shots when they put that thing together, because it was just so ridiculous. I don't know how anybody could believe that. And yet they used that, to set up the president and spy on his campaign. We found this morning that this author for this bogus document, who's a British guy, by the way, shame on Great Britain for doing this to our country. But he has a couple different versions of this PP allegations. And so we know now that, he wasn't even consistent with his lies on Trump. So we think that's pretty big, because it's funny that we can find this out, independent investigators, and yet our government and our elitist liberal media can't find these things out. We also found that this weekend that Steele was sharing some other information that was in direct conflict with his earlier statements on different things. So this whole thing is falling apart on the left, and they're very worried. And yet, we'll see what happens. But God bless his president. He's the only one that could make it through what he's been through so far.
Yeah.
And let's hope that we see justice.
What's amazing is that I told Mark Kaysen this morning, who obviously is on the left, and we talked about this. I said, I don't know what you guys are thinking, but I'm telling you that in the minds of people who are Trump supporters, and I think even those who are independents at this point, every time President Trump survives an attempt on his political life, he just becomes stronger and larger than life. He becomes bigger and more respected by people. And so I don't know what these people are doing, but the fact that he is able to survive this stuff and still come out swinging is a good thing, not a bad one. I think it makes him a stronger presence in 2020, not a weaker one. I don't know what these people are thinking.
I agree with you 100%. Yeah, and what this guy's been through, we've never seen anything like it. The Democrat Party, I just, it just bewilders me. They don't even sound sane anymore. The crazy things are pushing. I hear you, in the morning debating the friend of yours who was on the show earlier.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just absolute insanity what they're talking about, and then this nonsense about Trump. When the truth is starting to come out, it's just the opposite. The only illegal activity was being done by our government and by some Democrats, and I think we're going to get and start to see that in the coming months.
Yeah, well, I will tell you that when it comes to these people who continue to go after him, I'm so glad. First of all, this idea that Mueller somehow, I want to ever keep people's eye on the ball here. Mueller's lack of precision in his report is on purpose and infuriating, and I believe it was his last little retaliatory move towards President Trump because he knew that he couldn't indict him, and he knew he had really no charges to be able to file against him. So this petulant, petty swamp monster kept everything as if the ball was in play, and so no wonder Barr had to come out. And really, honestly, Barr was, I think, did everything in his power not to actually critique Mueller the way he should be critiqued, and that is as a spineless, swampy, vengeful ne'er-do-well, and that's he did this on purpose. I mean, he left this open on purpose, and he could have closed it.
Right, absolutely. And this whole thing, as we look back on it, and we know how the history books will probably report on it, but as we look back and we look at the facts today, this never should have started, and they never had anything on Trump. And I just hope we get to the bottom of it in the coming months, and we see just what the FBI was doing to and the Obama administration was doing to the opposition candidate. It's really unbelievable that this happened in America. It's like Obama made this country into a banana republic within 8 years.
Oh, I know.
But it's just it looks like such criminal activity. So I hope we find out more.
Yeah, and it's too bad because the biggest banana eaters in Obama's banana republic are in fact these guys in the FBI and the CIA and beyond, these deep staters, and that's even worse.
Right.
And when, by the way, is Barr going to get rid of Christopher Wray? I mean,
right.
At some point, this guy needs to go. The president this morning taking after Christopher Wray, because it's one thing for Wray to be the FBI director. It's another thing when you go out and you purposely defend spying, the activities of
right.
the FBI that are clearly, we know what they did. And Peter Strzok and these guys, and yet there's no condemnation from Christopher Wray. In fact, all the sound bites you put up from ABC News Politics, where he's in front of the panel there and testifying, and he's not. He's still protecting his brothers. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. It's outrageous, and he last week said that there was no spying. He said this out in one of his public testimonies. And this is a direct, in direct conflict to his boss, Bill Barr. So what the hell is this guy doing? And who's he fooling at this point? There's so much, information already out there that Ray's still defending. These trucks in his organization. It's kind of unbelievable. I'm really glad Trump started tweeting about it because I haven't been impressed with this Ray guy at all. And it makes you wonder too. Who's telling Trump to hire these guys? Knowing that, and now we see just how bad this Ray is, and such a lapdog for the deep state. It's infuriating to try to figure out who's giving Trump this bad advice to hire guys like that.
Right. Hey, listen, this Rashida Tlaib. I mean, honestly, if this is what we get by electing Muslim crazies to Congress, then I'll take a pass on that. Because it's really a shame, I think, even for other Muslims in America, that it just so happens the first two elected female Muslims are a bunch of fire-breathing anti-Semites. It's unbelievable to me. And
absolutely,
the latest from Tlaib is terrible.
Oh yeah, she did this little interview last Friday with this Skullduggery podcast, where she's talking about the Holocaust and how it gave her such a feeling of peace, and it calmed her, knowing that her ancestors helped create a safe haven for the Jews. And it's just the craziest thing you ever heard. It's such a perversion of history. And of course she's going to get away with it because, she's a radical Democrat and they don't ever, it seems like they always protect each other, but pretty disgusting.
Yeah,
like you said, this is one of the first Muslim representatives. She's a disgrace.
Yeah, let me play this for you here. This is
by coming out in favor of a one-state solution in Israel and Palestine. And I think you may be the only Democrat who's publicly supported a one-state solution. So what is your vision for a one-state solution that meets both Palestinian and Israeli or Jewish national aspirations?
Absolutely. And let me tell you, I mean, for me, just I think 2 weeks ago or so, we celebrated, it took a moment, I think, in our country to remember the Holocaust. And there's a kind of a calming.
I love it how she said celebrated first, and then it said changed it took a moment. I mean, you've got to be kidding me. Here, I'll play it.
Our country to remember the Holocaust. And there's a kind of a calming feeling. I always tell folks when I think of the Holocaust and the tragedy of the Holocaust, and the fact that it was my ancestors, Palestinians, who lost their land and some lost their lives, their livelihood, human dignity, their existence in many ways have been wiped out, and some people's passport. I mean, just all of it was in the name of trying to create a safe haven for Jews.
I mean, that's unbelievable. I mean, saying that even to the point where she is claiming that somehow Palestinians suffered at the hands of Holocaust survivors, basically, is what she's saying, or ancestors of Holocaust survivors or Holocaust victims. And that really, in the end, she lost her forefathers lost all their land to these Jews who came over there and needed a safe haven. So she's backhandedly even criticizing Jews in the wake of what happened after the Holocaust. It doesn't make any. It's crazy.
Right. It's absolutely nuts. And the fact that she's saying that the Palestinians were defending the Jews, the exact opposite is true. In fact, there's this famous picture of Hitler. I put it up on a previous post at Gateway Pundit, a picture of Hitler with the Mufti from Jerusalem during World War II, where they're sitting and this Mufti ended up supporting Hitler and supporting his cause. And so what is she talking about, Rashida Tlaib? It's so exactly the opposite of what happened, her reality.
Wow.
And it's awful that she's pushing this too.
Yeah, and she was asked about the one-state deal, and I get that. Like, for instance, if you are, for her to comment on it as a congresswoman, fine, and a one-state, that's a policy matter. And I get that there are differences of opinion over the one-state, two-state, I get it. But then to start to editorialize in that fashion to get your dig in to the Jews, it's just unbelievable to me. And it's too bad, too, because again, apparently it doesn't matter. You go to Morning Joe or any of these things, and these white liberals are all going, oh, no. But keep in mind, she's the first female Muslim. So we need to give her, we want her to succeed and blah, blah, blah. But they're just acting like a bunch of spoiled brats, these two. Crazy.
Oh, absolutely. And the fact that the Democrats and the media continue to defend these two, I think it's going to backfire on them. Most people who listen to this, I just can't imagine that it's helping the Jewish voters to respect the Democrat Party when they give these two such a pass all the time. And what's interesting, Jamie, is this Omar and this Tlaib, it seems like every time they open their mouth, there's a new controversy. So, how long are Democrats going to, hold on to that? It's unbelievable to watch what's happening to the Democrat Party.
Unfortunately, this world is littered with the self-loathing part of the Jewish faith in this country, and they'll continue to vote in Democrats who support people like this, and that's a shame. I do understand that.
Absolutely.
You also have a very interesting story here about Coca-Cola, and of course it's Ramadan. It's the month of Ramadan, and so I could see where, let's say Coca-Cola is selling Coca-Cola in, I don't know, Saudi Arabia or I don't know, whatever. You could see where they would kind of adjust their label, but in Norway, you're going to have Coca-Cola with an Islamic logo on it.
Yeah, isn't that wild? I mean, this is what's coming to the West now. So the month of Ramadan, it's currently we're in the month of Ramadan, and so Coke put out this new insignia with the Islamic crescent moon, and so they changed their whole logo for the month of May during Ramadan. It's kind of crazy, isn't it, to see that in the West? But that's the world we live in today.
I mean, I wouldn't want Coca-Cola to put a crucifix on their label either, but still, would they ever do that for any kind of well-known symbol? Although I do know the Coca-Cola, they've always been, fans of Santa Claus, and they've done a lot of stuff like that with, the Coca-Cola polar bear and the whole Christmas thing.
Right.
But but I seem to think that, I don't know how people feel about the unfettered migration of Muslims into their countries, but I wouldn't think that Norway, Sweden, Germany, and France would really appreciate Coca-Cola with a crescent moon on it. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, it's kind of like I get it that Muslims, most of them, at least the ones we know here in the United States, are peaceful people, but it seems to me that it would be a little antagonistic. But I don't know. Coca-Cola would.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Coca-Cola would defend it like, well, we celebrate Christmas too. And I would go, I get it, but it seems just kind of odd and a little menacing. If I were in Western Europe, I'd be a little menaced by that. But oh well, it's up to Coca-Cola.
Absolutely.
All right, buddy. Yeah. Well, listen, always good to talk to you, Jimmy Hoff, the Gateway Pundit. Check it out, folks. I'm telling you. For instance, he's got an article up here too about Peter Strzok, laughing while this dossier is reported in the media and everything else. Is laughing figuratively with his text and everything else, and so you don't see these stories anywhere. I mean, you just don't. Even on friendly Fox News, there's Jimmy Hoff though with the other side of the story. So I encourage you to get to thegatewaypundit.com and check it out. Well, thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Jamie.
All right. The call, Tammy.com, real estate listener lines, 844-855-1380, 844-855-1380.
More Allman in the Morning coming up on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer. Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
That accident on 270 southbound before Olive still causing big problems. A left lane block there. The backup still stop and go from 70. You can see the crash from the jam cam at Olive. And we still have the westbound lanes of 255 closed across the Jefferson Barracks Bridge for emergency roadwork until further notice after crews found cracks and steel beams in the bridge. 55 southbound, 64 to the 5544 underpass. You'll see delays there. 6440 westbound Hampton to Laclede Station slow. Traffic is sponsored by Express Services, Inc. You work hard. You know what it takes to succeed. Now it's time to put your experience to work and launch your business. For a limited time, Express Employment Professionals will give you $25,000 to open your franchise. Get to know Express. Visit expressfranchising.com today. I'm Bonnie Green with your St. Louis Metro traffic on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
All right, folks, ThrottleNet.com. George Rosenthal, longtime friend of mine, so appreciate the fact that ThrottleNet is back with this new version of Allman in the Morning and Common Sense Radio. So I really appreciate them. I really love talking about them. In fact, George, I saw him the other night at the Elder and Allman in the Evening event and was able to actually get the news that they have finally moved in or are moving into that Sunset Hills location. He said, I saw the sign there. I thought that you guys had moved on. No, we put the sign up first. We're crawling in there. But it doesn't matter where their office is. I was just simply happy to report they were moving into a bigger area because they're still a constantly growing company because they're one of the most popular IT services in the St. Louis area and beyond. And the reason for that is they're full service for you. They have a 24/7 help desk, which is unusual in this industry. And so they're available to you. If something goes down, something happens, they're able to go ahead and handle it remotely or just right at your doorstep. They will take really super good care of you. Also, they are experts in the field of white hatting, and that is the opposite of black hatting. The black hats are the ones that pop into your system and steal your information or hack you, steal other things like that, and compromise your customers or your customer base. The white hats are the ones who actually act like black hats until they find the holes, then they fix them. And that's where the white hat part comes in. They're really good at this, and they're really good at backing up your system. Your system being backed up is important because that's why these ransomware people have made so much money, because they'll lock a system up, and then they'll come out and ransomware you, and you got to pay because you don't have your system backed up. So you got to turn it on somehow because time is money. With backups, you can just tell those people to pound sand, and ThrottleNet will help you do all that. ThrottleNet.com.
KXFN, St. Louis, K287BY, St. Louis.
Greetings, St. Louis. This is Matthew Mitchell of the Matthew Mitchell Allstate Agency. Excited to welcome Jamie Allman back to St. Louis Radio. As a longtime supporter and sponsor of Allman in the Morning, my goal as his trusted advisor is to make sure that you are in good hands. With over 70 years of combined staff experience, my team of agents and I know how to make sure that you get the best value for the money you spend on your insurance. Is your insurance company currently hiding behind a website, out of town, or just a call center with no accountability to you or our community? Would you like to speak to the same person every time you call? Is there a new roof on your home? Do you have a teenage driver in your family? Has your credit score improved greatly over the last few years? You can email me at matthewmitchell@allstate.com, or you can call my agents at 855-QUOTE-ME. Folks, there is safety in numbers. Put the power of Allstate to work for you as America's largest and strongest insurance company. This is Matthew Mitchell of the Matthew Mitchell Allstate Agency. Again, the number to call is 855-QUOTE-ME.
Hey, folks, Dr. Elira tells me that you all are really enjoying all the things that she's able to do for your beautiful face and your beautiful body and your beautiful insides. I'll start with the face. Here you go. Botox, microneedling, hydrofacials. That's where she's at, and she does a great job in renewing your face. And all this is not really called plastic surgery because they're not putting anything into your face, but essentially doing, with the exception of the Botox, but that's already still bringing out the best of your face. So it's safe and it's perfectly comfortable and it works and it's beautiful, especially the microneedling and everything else. Then also the hydrofacial is fantastic because it takes that layer off your skin, it exfoliates naturally and lets that new face kind of shimmer, and you're going to love the hydrofacial. This is all at skinlaserstl.com, skinlaserstl.com, right there in beautiful Sunset Hills. Also, when it comes to fat, you're about swimsuit season, you got the love handles, you got the cellulite, whatever. She has ways of melting that away and body sculpting to actually take off that fat. That's all done safely and without taking a bunch of weird diet pills or anything else. She's able to do it and take care of you and erase that once and for all, and also tighten your skin. Those of you who are worried about the cellulite, that kind of thing, takes care of that. And then she has also the great array of IV treatment. So you go in and you're getting these awesome IVs that are chock full of vitamins. Maybe your concern is keeping your skin looking healthy. She's got a version of that for you. Maybe you had a rough night the night before and you need some kind of bounce back. Maybe you need to increase your metabolism, and maybe you just need some B in you and you want to feel good. She can do that for you at skinlaserstl.com. Tom, the Skin Laser Institute, skinlaserstl.com.
Listen to Allman in the Morning with Alexa. Wake up and say, Alexa, play The Answer St. Louis. Now, back to Allman in the Morning on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
All right, people. On the other side of this break, your phone calls are welcome. The calltammy.com real estate listener line is 844-855-1380. We'll boil down what actually is happening with this Peter Strzok deal, too, because it's our opinion that the Barr administration and the Justice Department there is hot on the trail of some of these ne'er-do-wells in the deep state. So hopefully we're going to see a result of that. President Trump is seemingly indicating that with his comments about Christopher Wray. All that straight ahead.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Wall Street is plunging on word of Chinese retaliation for U.S. tariffs. Beijing slapping 25% duties on $60 billion of American goods. The move comes after the U.S. hiked to 25% tariffs on $200 billion worth of Chinese imports. White House correspondent Greg Clugston says that President Trump and his top economic advisor disagree on the impact of the new tariffs on Chinese goods.
On Twitter, the president insists there is no reason for the U.S. consumer to pay the tariffs. He argues that China will be hurt very badly by the failure to reach a trade deal. However, White House economic advisor Larry Kudlow acknowledges that American consumers and businesses will pay the tariffs. He tells Fox News both sides will pay.
And the Chinese tariffs on U.S. imports due to take effect on June 1st. Saudi Arabia's government condemns what it describes as sabotage attacks on a couple of its oil tankers off the coast of the United Arab Emirates, while providing no information about the nature of those attacks.
Saudi Arabia says that there was significant damage to those vessels, although there was no casualties and no oil spills. Separately, we have the UAE. They say a total of 4 vessels were attacked, but again, significantly, they haven't given any further details.
That's the BBC's Martin Patience reporting. She was one of Hollywood's brightest stars in the 50s and 60s, had a successful recording career as well. Doris Day has died. The singer and actress died early today at home in California. Doris Day was 97 years old. And on Wall Street this hour, stocks deep in the red. The Dow is down 533 points. It's a loss of more than 2%. The NASDAQ off 227 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
Southbound before Olive has cleared. We do have a backup from Page, though. And 64 westbound jammed still from Kings Highway to 55. Flooding still an issue in West Alton, 67 down to 1 lane, both directions between the Missouri and Mississippi rivers with flooding. And the westbound lanes of 255 are closed across the Jefferson Barracks Bridge for emergency roadwork until further notice. This is after inspection crews found cracks in the steel beams in the bridge. So big problems continue there. Traffic is sponsored by Hampton by Hilton. Family reunion in Paris turns out to be in Paris, Texas. No worries. You know you can stay at Hampton by Hilton with more than 2,400 locations and free hot breakfast. Book now at Hampton.com. I'm Bonnie Green with your St. Louis Metro traffic on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
1380 The Answer. Weather.
Major river flooding expected to continue through tonight. We'll have partly sunny skies today, the high 66. Mainly clear and cool tonight with a low of 47. Mostly sunny skies tomorrow, the high 72. Tomorrow night, mostly cloudy with a couple of thunderstorms around the high 58. We'll have mostly cloudy skies Wednesday with a passing shower and a high of 77. I'm Drew Shannon with your St. Louis Metro forecast on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
Dana Lash.
Do you realize that teaching and setting up kids to believe that they have no responsibility for their actions is actually creating an environment of government dependency? The complete spirit of liberty and individualism is that you're responsible for the actions you undertake, your own actions. But if you remove that ownership of responsibility, then you're also creating a dependency on something else.
The Dana Show. Weekdays at 1 on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
Smash here with the People's Praise Party, where the word is in the music. Inviting you 11 a.m. till noon every Sunday morning right here for some of the greatest gospel music there happens to be, along with testifying like you ain't never heard from me. Now, if by chance you miss it Sundays at 11 a.m., then get to my website, Asher Ben Ruby, ASHERBENRUBI, AsherBenruby.com. Hit the People's Praise Party tab. Go to the Podcast Archives Library. A plethora of People's Praise Party everything for you in case you miss any of the Sunday shows. Now you can listen anytime, anywhere, anyhow, anywho, as you may want to do. The People's Praise Party Podcast Archives Library, available to you now at AsherBenruby.com, along with every Sunday morning, 11 a.m. right here on 1380 a.m. and 105.3 FM, The Answer.
This hour of Allman in the Morning is brought to you in part by Dr. Anna Smith. Come see what your smile can be at Dentistry with TLC.
Common Sense Radio with Allman in the Morning on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
Give me land, lots of land, and the starry skies above. Don't fence me in. Let me ride through the wide open country that I love. Don't fence me in. Let me be by myself in the evening breeze. Listen to the murmur of the cottonwood trees. Send me off forever, but I ask you please. Don't fence me in.
Good morning this morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. I didn't have my usual energy drink this morning, but I don't think I need it. Those things are expensive, but I don't know. I came in and Kaysen was, maybe I just need Kaysen in here every morning when I first start. That'll rev me up. You know what I mean? Maybe I don't need to spend $2.69 on an energy drink all the time.
Everybody says that Jim Hoft is the perfect antidote for Mark Kaysen.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
I mean, well, he's and Hoft is the perfect antidote to everything you see in the news media, it seems, because you see stories there that you just don't see anywhere else, and they're true, obviously. But you don't hear stories about this dossier the way you do in the Peter Strzok stuff and everything else, because everybody still wants President Trump to forget all about this. Believe me, though, as indicated by his open tweets criticizing Christopher Wray, the director of the FBI, whenever President Trump does stuff like that, he's always has backup info. He always has something behind that. The famous tweet that had something behind it was when he said that President Obama wiretapped him, in quotation marks, wiretapped. And it was like, that's not true. And actually the reality is that was pretty damn true. But he knew that already. He knew everything that was there. He knew that when he tweeted it. And so we'll see how this whole thing works out with Christopher Wray. Speaking of that, there's an interesting story that took place in San Francisco. And I'm sure the news media, when they report on this, of course, they'll always protect their own, because the news media likes to claim that they are invincible and beyond any kind of reproach when they use anonymous sources and they capitalize off of leaks, which is what the New York Times and the Washington Post has basically, it's kept them in business, would be the leaks. And of course, the rest of the news media will always just report what the New York Times and Washington Post reported. So it's just one big steamroll, one big snowball. So these people who capitalize on the leakers are the same ones who, and want protection, are the same ones who want to see everything about Donald Trump's tax returns and want to see the unredacted, which is illegal, the unredacted Mueller report, and claim that any time you will seek executive privilege or whatever, that's some kind of a crime because you're hiding something. But that term hiding something is never applied to the news media when they hide behind their anonymous sources, is it now? When they hide behind their anonymous sources who also leak. But any kind of attempt to find out information like that is always seen as some kind of affront to the First Amendment. And I love it how they finally, the news media loves the Constitution when it protects them. But heaven forbid you're a gun owner protected by the Second Amendment. Then they don't like you so much. They don't like that Constitution things, Oh, come on, it's a living, breathing document. It should change with the times. Don't you love it when they always say that? Well, the Constitution, the Founding Fathers never anticipated a blah, blah, blah. And I'm sure, you know what, you could make the same argument that the Founding Fathers never anticipated that there would be people from inside the government, traitors who leak stuff either. So, I'm just saying that, and I don't really necessarily agree with that, and I don't necessarily agree with clamping down on journalists. I don't want a government constantly arresting journalists. That's not what I'm saying. But I do believe that the people who leak to them need to be prosecuted. And in order to get to the leakers, you also do need to have some intrusion on the journalists. If your intention is to prosecute leakers who do something illegal, it's not just people who leak information that is negative to the president. It's about people who leak information that is illegal to have leaked. Which of course is a criminal act, and there are plenty of people who are going to have their asses in a vice thanks to Mr. Barr and his approach if he maintains it. But look what's happening in San Francisco. And this is an interesting story, so keep an eye on this, because at some point I kind of wish the feds would do something like this regarding the leakers against President Trump. Police raided the home and office of a freelance journalist Friday morning as part of an ongoing investigation into a leaked confidential police report containing salacious details about the death of late public defender Jeff Adachi. Freelance journalist Brian Carmody told the San Francisco Examiner that his home and office were raided by police and FBI agents because he had obtained a copy of the police report and sold information from that report to the press following Adachi's death on February 22nd. So he sold the information, which is, something that should be remedied, but the original leaker is what they're after. The leak drew wide condemnation and prompted members of the Board of Supervisors to call for the police department to investigate and hold accountable the source of it within the department. 2 weeks prior, Carmody said he was interviewed by police officers about where he obtained the information, but refused to divulge his source. The police confiscated his cell phone, computers, and a copy of the police report from within his office safe. Carmody accused police of intimidation to make me break my journalistic ethics. Now, keep in mind, this is a thin line, and I'm sure the police and the FBI knew that, but knew they were on the right side of said line. And the police department said today's actions are one step in the process of investigating a potential case of obstruction of justice, along with the illegal distribution of a confidential police report. Police and supporters of Adachi, who dedicated his career to uncovering police misconduct, said the leak was political retribution. So I don't really know much about this story, and it doesn't really necessarily matter. But look at how they are responding to people who have clearly done something illegal in putting this in the hands of journalists and others. And there have been a dozen instances where the news media obtained information illegally from sources who leaked it illegally and just simply go totally unpunished. And in fact, anytime you try to challenge them in any way, shape, or form, you are suddenly infringing on the wonderful Fourth Estate. Now, again, I really don't want a world where police are raiding journalists' offices all the time just on spec. I don't want that. But the reality is there have been a lot of illegal leaks. And you can't prosecute the journalists for even printing something illegal, but you can prosecute the leakers who leaked it. And that's what Barr needs to do, is go after these people and nail them and find the leakers. And you know damn well that one of them's Comey. You know damn well that one of them is Brennan, who they finally had to cancel his access to classified information. Some of these guys, still it surprises me that these guys still have that pass, but they yanked Brennan's because they knew he was leaking. Clapper is another one. I'm sure that Peter Strzok is another one. Barack Obama is probably another one. Who else was I putting in my Nuremberg trial box? I mean, Hillary Clinton still has access. She's probably another one who leak information. There might have been somebody even in the higher reaches of the Justice Department doing the same thing. So those people need to be prosecuted. This story and this situation cannot end now and this way. It cannot end at this current level. There needs to be prosecutions, and sometimes there needs to be investigations even of media operations in terms of who the leakers are. Because let's put it this way: when you have a crime that is basically treason, you have a motivation to find out who did that. You have an obligation to find out who did that. The President Trump tax returns, those were illegally leaked by someone, and yet the New York Times can report on the tax returns legally, but they should be forced to say who did it. Because I don't believe that anonymous sources, you being a journalist, protects you completely from all that. And as I pointed out, I have made a career in investigative reporting, and I never once used an anonymous source, ever, not once, not in a million years. And you know why? First of all, I always thought a person who is unnamed, they're unnamed for a reason. They're unnamed because they have a motivation. They're unnamed. They don't tell you their name. It's like on Twitter or anything else. These people who say, well, I'm a professional. Well, then you know what? Own up to what you have to say. But they don't put a name on it because they know that people will be able to assess what their motivation is. The anonymous source, the anonymous leak is similar. So I never really bought into that. I said, if you're really right and your information is true, then let's then stand up for it. Back up your words. And so I never once used it, and that wasn't our policy at Channel 4 at the time to use anonymous sources. I think maybe a couple times, I don't even remember this. I don't remember doing it on my thing. When it comes to like governmental stuff that I did, I never put anybody behind a screen. I think one time I had to put, when I talked to somebody who was an alleged rape victim or something, I anonymized them in terms of just, protecting their identity. But I never had anybody telling on the governor or doing whatever behind some screen and where they change the voice. Which is really obnoxious, by the way, TV people. I'll have you know that we don't understand a word they're saying when you do that. Do you, Phil? No. What? He says. They try and they mask the voice. Can't even tell who it is or what he's saying. I like it when they do the women, too, and they have to, make them, and so it sounds like, it's terrible. But oftentimes, I believe me, these reporters don't care whether you can understand it, because as far as they're concerned, that's just, cool to have somebody behind a screen, because it adds some mystery to the whole deal. But they really don't care whether you know what they're saying or not, because they're saying it for them anyway. So, just telling you. All right, the call, Tammy.com, real estate listener lines, 844-855-1380. This is Common Sense Radio.
Live from the Arrowhead Building Supply Studio, this is Allman in the Morning on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
Mitchell of the Matthew Mitchell Allstate Agency, excited to welcome Jamie Allman back to St. Louis Radio. As a longtime supporter and sponsor of Allman in the Morning, my goal as his trusted advisor is to make sure that you are in good hands. With over 70 years of combined staff experience, my team of agents and I know how to make sure that you get the best value for the money you spend on your insurance. Is your insurance company currently hiding behind a website, out of town, or just a call center with no accountability to you or our community? Would you like to speak to the same person every time you call? Is there a new roof on your home? Do you have a teenage driver in your family? Has your credit score improved greatly over the last few years? You can email me at matthewmitchell@allstate.com, or you can call my agents at 855-QUOTE-ME. Folks, there is safety in numbers. Put the power of Allstate to work for you as America's largest and strongest insurance company. This is Matthew Mitchell of the Matthew Mitchell Allstate Agency. Again, the number to call is 855-QUOTE-ME.
Hey, folks, I will tell you, when it comes to Banner Construction and your home improvement, now's the time. Things are really, really swinging out there when it comes to the home improvement products that Banner will lay on you. The number one thing for Banner is the James Hardy Fiber Cement Siding. This is an absolutely beautiful product. I had it on my old home, increased the value. It was a great insulator as well for heating and cooling, and it looks great. And it looks like wood, and it lasts half a century. It's beautiful, and you go to bannerconstruction.com, you can kind of take a look at it and see what that's all about. But it is now the season for the trucks to be moving with the James Hardy Fiber Cement Siding, where they're the preferred installer of it, and then also the vinyl siding, which they do a great job with that as well, and the beautiful wood windows, which really do spruce up a home and just make it absolutely just beautiful. Wood windows are really cool and surprisingly inexpensive and a great value when you get them through my friends at Banner Construction. Longtime supporters of the All in the Morning Show from the very beginning of my radio career. There was Banner Construction, so I really appreciate that they've been with me for this long and really, really love them. So check it out on the web. It's bannerconstruction.com, 314-569-1050.
Business owners, self-employed, part-time employees, are you struggling to pay your bills because you no longer can afford your health insurance? Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. With Obamacare premiums skyrocketing, higher deductibles, and shrinking networks, let me introduce you to Dryden Camus Insurance Agency as the answer, the solution. Dryden Camus Insurance Agency has non-Obamacare ACA-compliant plans that do not fund abortion. There's no enrollment period, and you don't have to pay for expensive extras like pediatric dentistry or maternity care. Contact Joyce at Dryden Camus Insurance Agency and start saving up to 60%. Call 877-695-0245. That's 877-695-0245, or just go to kddi-ins.com. Cut through the confusion and save money with Dryden Camus Insurance Agency, serving Missouri and Illinois. This is the answer. This is the solution. Dryden Camus Insurance Agency. Just go to kddi-ins.com.
Hey, want to talk with Jamie? Call 844-855-1380. 844-855-1380. And interact with Common Sense Radio. This is Allman in the Morning on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
Good morning. Good morning this morning. You like this? You like this? You're gonna like this. It kind of keeps going. So China is ready to rock in terms of taxing or tariffing our exports to China. China's in a little bit difficult situation, though, that really not many people are really talking about. And that's why the president has tweeted out that this is really going to hurt China more than it hurts America. And the reason for that is that China exports some $350 billion in goods to the U.S. We export about $100 billion in goods to China. So you could do the math there and discover that actually China is going to be more hurt by the tariffs than we will. Now, will we have short-term hurt on the part of agriculture in the U.S.? Likely, because we export these goods. But that's China's fault, not President Trump's fault. President Trump getting into a trade war with China isn't just for the hell of it. I mean, it's because right now the balance of trade and what China is doing in terms of its stealing of our of trade secrets, and the imbalance there is we have not a fair trade system with China. We have a free trade system with China that all the Republicans loved there for a while, but not a fair trade system with China. And if there are people in the agriculture world who have benefited a lot from this imbalance, then they're not going to benefit any more from it. That's just the way it goes. There are sacrifices that have to be made. And there are things that are going to maybe go up in price. I want to see it happen first before I actually really believe it. Most of these goods that are being sold like today that are in the U.S. are already here. So anybody who is increasing the price of something at your store in the next 2 weeks or so is doing so just to gouge you. It's kind of like when they do this with gasoline. At the gasoline stations. That one. Where they have, oh, by the way, at 9:30, speaking of that, I got to turn you on to this Loquisha movie. Have you researched that anymore? Oh, Maxie, are you going to preview Loquisha? Is that what it's called?
It's a pretty low budget movie, so I'm not sure they're going to have press screenings, but it looks awful.
It does? It looks awful?
I mean, it looks like sort of just a different version of Tootsie. I mean, how many different times do we have to see Tootsie?
Or a different version of Soul Man. Right?
Sure, yeah. Or White Chicks, which was the Wayans Brothers movie.
Yeah, right. I guess it's one of those things that might be like a good skit that goes for 4 minutes, but maybe not a 2-hour movie.
Yeah, it's a comedian who wrote and directed it, stars in it, produces it, so it's sort of a one-man show, which is fine and good for him. But when I watched the trailer, I thought, okay, well, it's kind of like Dustin Hoffman dressing up in drag.
Yeah. Well, also I noticed in the trailer, which I think towards the end is funny, but I noticed even the trailer took a long time to get to the guy actually doing that, being the black woman. I mean, so it seemed to me like a trailer ought to be like ready to hit the ground running if it's a 30-second or a minute-long trailer, but even the trailer was a little bit boring. So
he definitely is doing a good job marketing, though. He's on Twitter. He's he's posting the trailer himself. Again, it's a lower budget movie, but I think it's got people talking because of the subject matter, of course.
Yes. I mean, it's a little gutsy in this day and age to do that in this PC age, but it's so if you haven't heard about it yet, guys, it's a white dude who has a radio show like he's a black woman, and he's talking like a black woman. And he becomes like the idol of black women everywhere. It's a dude.
The best version of this will always be the Eddie Murphy SNL sketch where they put him in whiteface and he discovers that white people just give each other free money all the time and have parties.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. I don't think, it's funny because I don't think people would do that. I mean, this is unusual in this day and age, honestly, to do something like that. I don't know how soon there's going to be a backlash on this thing, but there will be eventually, cultural appropriation or whatever it happens to be, because this is basically, instead of blackface, this is black voice,
Sure.
So I don't know, man. I do it all the time, but I get away with it. Please, sir, do not make an issue out of talking black. Okay. If you start putting the beacon on me, mister, I'm going to take your movie down big time. Leave me alone. I don't want to be caught up in the groundswell. I don't want to be caught up in the 9-member panel on CNN about how terrible it is and racist it is to talk black, just as a joke, or when you're imitating Obama. Because I still want to talk about Obama. You didn't build that. Somebody else made that happen. I want to still be able to do that, people.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. Wall Street is plunging this morning on word of Chinese retaliation for U.S. tariffs. Beijing slapping 25% duties on $60 billion in American goods. The move comes after the U.S. hiked to 25% tariffs on $200 billion in Chinese imports. President Trump, meanwhile, and his top economic advisor disagreeing over the impact of the new tariffs on Chinese goods. Saudi Arabia's government condemns what it's describing as a sabotage attack on a couple of its oil tankers off the coast of the United Arab Emirates. However, the Saudis providing no information on the nature of those attacks, only saying that the vessels were significantly damaged. And looking at the Wall Street numbers right now, the Dow is down 549 points for a loss of more than 2%. The NASDAQ 243 points lower, down 3%. This is SRN News.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
Problems continue on our roads. 6440 westbound at 270, a crash blocking the right lane there. No delays, though. We do have delays on 55 southbound 64 to the 5544 underpass. And northbound 3 between Camp Jackson Road and 55. Got a pretty good-sized delay there, too. The westbound lanes of 255 remain closed across the Jefferson Barracks Bridge for emergency roadwork until further notice. This is after inspection crews found cracks in steel beams on the bridge. Traffic is sponsored by Express Services, Inc. You work hard. You know what it takes to succeed. Now it's time to put your experience to work and launch your business. For a limited time, Express Employment Professionals will give you $25,000 to open your franchise. Get to know Express. Visit expressfranchising.com today. I'm Bonnie Green with your St. Louis Metro traffic on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
1380 The Answer. Weather.
Major river flooding expected to continue through tonight. We'll have partly sunny skies today, the high 66. Mainly clear and cool tonight with a low of 47. Mostly sunny skies tomorrow, the high 72. Tomorrow night, mostly cloudy with a couple of thunderstorms around, the high 58. We'll have mostly cloudy skies Wednesday with a passing shower and a high of 77. I'm Drew Shannon with your St. Louis Metro forecast on 1380 and 105.3 The Answer.
Dennis Prager sees one major threat to our union.
The existential threat. They love the word existential threat. But I also believe there's an existential threat, but mine is actually rational. I believe there's an existential threat to the world and especially to the United States, and that is leftism. As the United States of America will cease to exist if the left obtain power. Look at Venezuela. Look everywhere they touch.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekday mornings at 11 on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer. Breaking news. Stimulating
Do you
talk.
consider yourself as the expert in your industry? Do others in the community consider you to be the expert in your line of business? There's an affordable way to position your company as the expert. I'm Lori Vernier, Sales Manager for 1380 AM The Answer and Salem Media St. Louis. Let us help you bring your brand to life. You know your business, and we know how to build an effective and engaging radio show with both on-air and online distribution. Grow your business by enhancing your credibility and branding yourself as the market expert in your field, positioning you above your competitors. Let's work together to help make you the expert St. Louisans turn to for information in your industry. Contact me, Lori Vernier, at theanswerstl.com, and we can discuss bringing your brand to life with your own radio program.
If you love radio as much as we do, then why don't you join us by having your own show? Just go to theanswerstl.com and click Contact Us at the bottom of the page.
This station owned and operated by Salem Media Group.
This hour of Allman in the Morning is brought to you in part by Dr. Anna Smith, the #1 provider of oral sleep appliances in the United States. Learn more at cpapsucks.com.
Larry Elder, tonight at 5. Now, back to Allman in the Morning on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
And I was waiting over here till life to begin. Was looking for the new thing, and you were the sunshine, in my front line. I was alone, you were just around the corner from me.
Does it make me criminal if I still don't get this college scandal thing? I mean, I don't think it was... whatever they were doing didn't seem kosher to me. But I guarantee you, these people like Lori Loughlin and these people, I guarantee you, they had no idea what they were doing was illegal. I bet you $1 million. That they had no idea that what was going on was illegal. Now there's a chance that they did, and that things maybe seemed kind of crazy. But to me, it didn't seem plausible that they knew that this was wrong. And so what I think is nutty is that there are people who actually, like even with the Stenger thing, this is going to be really tough, by the way, regarding the Stenger thing, because he's going to open up so many cans of worms. There are some hugely nervous people in the county right now, because basically what's happening is he's going to tell on everybody. And the fact of the matter is, he's got a lot to tell because he's had a relatively long career in local politics here in terms of being involved in things. And Stenger has clearly made the decision, along with his attorney Scott Rosenblum, that he's not going down without taking a bunch of people with him. And he will. I mean, there are some other people out there who are involved in stuff that he knows about. I'm fairly certain of that. And they're really nervous right now. And I honestly believe that is one of the reasons why, for instance, when the FBI and when the feds got him, I mean, basically what happened. Here's what I think happened. I don't know for sure, but the Post-Dispatch, which did some pretty good reporting on the nefariousness of these contracts, and it seemed very easy. Like these stories, I mean, they did a good job in their investigative reporting, and they had the facts right, and they had everything there. But it seemed like if somebody just had looked, it seemed like somebody would have found that fairly easily if they just actually opened their eyes. And it just so happens the Post-Dispatch opened its eyes and it probably had a little nudge from somebody on the inside, but they probably had all that, and it seemed really easy. It seemed really cut and dry, and they chronicled that whole thing. In fact, if you go to the Post-Dispatch website and use it, if you by the way, I noticed on your laptop, they don't make you pay 99 cents to read it. I noticed it on the laptop. I know it's on my phone. They always make you pay 99 cents if you're looking at it on your phone. But on your laptop, they never make you pay. I don't know why that is, or what. It seems like there's something about that. But anyway, if you look at the articles on Stenger and you go back, because they have them all kind of archived underneath the main article, you'll see, wow, this is like, wow, whoa, wow, that was obviously wrong. And so what's happening is when the feds brought Stenger in, the feds, when they looked at these articles, knew that there were a lot more people involved in all this than just Stenger. And so they basically pinched him right away, and then he pleaded guilty right away. By the way, pled isn't a word for you journalists out there. Stop saying pled guilty. It's not pled. There's no such word. It's pleaded. Just telling you. But he pleaded guilty, and that's in 2 days. Because clearly he was like, okay, you got me, but let me tell you something. I have a long story to tell about a lot of things, and I'll plead guilty, but I'll be your star witness. And that's basically what he is now. He'll be their star witness. And the fact of the matter is there are a lot of other people going down. I think by the time this is all said and done, there might be 15 people indicted. Some of them from pretty high up in the reaches of government, but some of them pretty high up in the in the private world. Phil put that bird up there. Oh, singing like a bird. Oh, yeah. I mean, Steve Stenger is the Fed's favorite guy right now. He really is. I mean, they love him over there because he's just like, oh, yeah, sure. Of course I will. Here. You know this guy, don't you? Well, look at this. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. It's going to be, it's not going to be very fun. All right, so ABC is deciding that they're going to start to. Of course, you know that they're essentially they're playing the role of campaigner against President Trump for 2020, and so once again, you have like this week with George Stephanopoulos. George Stephanopoulos will never be a credible journalist because George Stephanopoulos used to work for the Clintons, and you don't work for the Clintons and suddenly become independent after you've worked for the Clintons. There's no way. George Stephanopoulos is a Democrat currently anchoring the ABC Morning News and doing This Week. And that's okay if Stephanopoulos admits it, but he never really does. So, I mean, again, I've always been a very big proponent of transparency. So if George Stephanopoulos said, "Good morning, I'm a Democrat, I'm George Stephanopoulos," or if they just said Democrat George Stephanopoulos, I'd be fine with it because I would understand it. I wouldn't be so frustrated every time he opens his mouth, knowing that really this is just a game of pretend here. And he's asked some tough questions of the libs before. I get it, but here he is with Adam Schiff. And he decides to give Adam Schiff another platform. Like, we're not tired of this guy yet. Like, this guy hasn't already been defeated. It's kind of like interviewing the losing pitcher of the World Series. To talk about how, boy, it's really terrible. We can't have the Yankees win another World Series, said the Boston Red Sox pitcher, or whatever it is. I really used to have, I don't know, Boston drives me crazy. I have a feeling we're going to be playing them for the Stanley Cup, and we're going to really dislike Bostonians even more than we do now. I'm just telling you. Because the Bruins are, they're nasty, man. They will beat your butt. I'm talking about physically. And they've all got these friggin' big beards. It's like, oh my goodness. These are beasts, man. These hockey players. I'm not kidding you, man. All those guys. That guy in the San Jose Sharks, that dude. You see him with the big old beard? Looks like he's 70. But they're vicious, man. We gotta be more vicious, I've decided. Like I said yesterday or earlier this morning, we need a Tony Twist type of guy out there beating somebody's head in while the refs aren't looking. Okay, anyway. So here's Schiff talking about the survival of the country. It's like, oh, come on. Really? With George Stephanopoulos on This Week.
This morning you heard the president right there. He says you all are going to elect him in 2020.
That's not going to happen, and I don't think this country could survive another 4 years of a president like this who gets up every day trying to find new and inventive ways to divide us.
I love that. Here's another divide guy. First of all, he's wrong. He was wrong about the Trump indictment, wrong about collusion, and we're supposed to listen to him being right about how President Trump isn't going to be elected. And I also love the fact that he's another one of those guys, one of those left-wingers who will talk about how Trump divides us. Now, the only reason President Trump, and this is another thing, you've heard me give this speech before. I'm not going to get too crazy on it, but whenever you disagree, Oh, look at that, man. That's awesome, dude. I didn't even see that. I got to make sure I just looked over and there it was. Am I positioning myself? See, I can't see. Is it? Drop the puck. Drop the puck, badass. I'm going to put a stick up your neck. Beat you with the other side of my stick. That's what we need. Do any of the Blues have beards? Big, long beards? They need to start growing them. Do they? Oh, they need some. They need to look like me. On skates. What's up? And then what's better is you get into a fight and you pull somebody's beard while you're fighting, which is great. Like that old dude on the San Jose Sharks. I'd like to see part of his beard on the ice. I'm sorry I'm so violent, but we have to fight fire with fire, or the Sharks are going to beat us. And by the way, can you believe like San Jose as a hockey team? Like that place is like there was hardly anybody there. It's crazy. Anyway. Dude, that's classic. So anyway, you guys who are just listening, you're kind of missing out. So I hope you can go to the website and see the tape. But that's pretty damn funny. All right, so no, but it's funny how these guys say that the president's dividing the nation. Like tell me what the president's dividing the nation about? About tax cuts? About illegal aliens? About fighting North Korea? About fighting China on the trade issues and fighting North Korea on safety issues? What exactly is how is President Trump dividing, other than telling Adam Schiff to bite him on a regular basis? I mean, so how else is it dividing you? And I'll use the analogy again. It's kind of like, again, the losing pitcher on the World Series accusing the other team of dividing baseball or dividing them because they divided them from a victory is what they did. They divided the man from a strike and turned it into a home run. That's dividing. That's divisive right there. But he uses it all the time. And so this President Trump needs to be stopped.
He doesn't seem to understand that a fundamental aspect of his job is to try to make us a more perfect union. But that's that's not true. To make us a more perfect union, what, you mean a perfect Democrat Party union? Because apparently Adam Schiff and these guys, there's no amount of way that you're going to ever make these people happy unless, of course, you have a Democrat in the White House. Otherwise, that's just, But I don't understand this whole more perfect union. By the way, is that even in the oath of office? The more perfect union? I don't think it is. Is it?
I think it's in a Schoolhouse Rock.
Well, and I think it was a... But I don't even think that's in the president. Anyway, you obviously strive to have a perfect union. But keep in mind, a perfect union doesn't mean everybody has to agree. A perfect union just means everybody has to succeed, who are citizens. And I think the president's doing a pretty good job of creating stakeholders who didn't even vote for him, but stakeholders in the economy. Good morning, this morning.
All where he's coming from. And he's going to be defeated. He has to be defeated because I don't know how much more our democratic institutions can take of this kind of attack on the...
Yeah. So it's interesting how...
This morning you heard the president right there. He says you are going to elect...
Schott, I just got rid of you. You're done. But no, it's interesting how Hillary Clinton tried that tactic. That our democratic institutions are at stake. Boy, that really gets out the votes, doesn't it? Well, are you going to vote? Yes, because I need to preserve our democratic institutions. What are those? I don't know. Somebody just told me that our democratic institutions are at stake. It's like, what are those? I don't, the FBI? Well, by the way, there are several questions I had that maybe you can answer for me in the last 10 minutes of the show. Define presidential. Tell me what a extra. What do they call it now? Now I just lost my train of thought on that. And extra existential threat is. Tell me what that is. Okay. And tell me what a democratic institution is. Is that okay if I just ask you what those three things? I have more questions, but those are the three I want to know. What does presidential mean? Oh, no. What is an existential threat? What is a democratic institution? And when someone says that's not us, what are we? That's my number 4. And when someone says that's not who we are, who are we? So I got 5 questions for you. Call Tammy.com real estate listener lines 844-855-1380. It's Common Sense Radio.
More Allman in the Morning coming up on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
Business owners, self-employed, part-time employees, are you struggling to pay your bills because you no longer can afford your health insurance? Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. With Obamacare premiums skyrocketing, higher deductibles, and shrinking networks, let me introduce you to Dryden Camus Insurance Agency as the answer, the solution. Dryden Camus Insurance Agency has non-Obamacare ACA-compliant plans that do not fund abortion. There's no enrollment period, and you don't have to pay for expensive extras like pediatric dentistry or maternity care. Contact Joyce at Dryden Camus Insurance Agency and start saving up to 60%. Call 877-695-0245. That's 877-695-0245, or just go to kddi-ins.com. Cut through the confusion and save money with Dryden Camus Insurance Agency, serving Missouri and Illinois. This is the answer. This is the solution. Dryden Camus Insurance Agency. Just go to kddi-ins.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, My Pillow is ready to rock for you. I'm talking about 2 for the price of 1, and that's the deal you're going to get when you drop the name Jamie. Yes, as your code. It's mypillow.com/Jamie for some great discounts on the pillows and prices just right for the pillows. And also a huge discount. I'm talking about 30% on the Giza Dream Sheets, which are absolutely beautiful too. They are made from cotton there from the Fertile Crescent, and high thread count and cool vibe. And so these sheets are going to be putting you in the lap of luxury as you sleep throughout the night. And they're beautiful. And until you've actually slept on them, you probably have, like at a luxury hotel, but these are the kind of sheets you're going to have this luxury feel at your house, and that is going to be amazing. So check it out on the web. It's mypillow.com/Jamie.
KXFN, St. Louis, K287BY, St. Louis.
Rick Pogue here with Arrowhead Building Supply, the region's #1 specialty exterior building supplier. Arrowhead has the widest range of exterior products, from the most economical and commodity items to our highest-end outside elegance collection. If you need a contractor, Arrowhead supplies products to hundreds of the best contractors and builders in the business. Call us for a contractor referral and rest easy. The Arrowhead Cube Home Visualizer tool means you can upload an actual photo of your home and change it with just a touch of your finger. Now you can be 100% confident in your selections before they are installed in your home. Our product showrooms are the largest and most beautiful in the industry. We make it simple to experience a full range of siding, roofing, window, door, deck, and even stone options for your home or business. Check us out at arrowheadbuildingsupply.com or visit an Arrowhead showroom near you today in St. Peters, Missouri, Peebly, Missouri, and Fairview Heights, Illinois. Arrowhead Building Supply. Building supplies for building success.
arrowheadbuildingsupply.com.
Hey, don't just listen to Allman in the Morning. See the show at theanswerstl.com. Now, more Allman in the Morning on 1380 and 105.3. The Answer.
So, Rick, you just heard the Arrowhead Building Supply Rick Pogue ad there, and Rick earlier this morning sent me a picture of the building of the home inside the showroom. And he sent me the picture. God, these guys are like, they do. You talk about go big or stay home. This is pretty amazing. So he sends me this picture and says coming to life, which means it's we're going to have the grand opening, I think, in August or somewhere down the line. But it's now being built as home inside the showroom. So when I talk about you seeing this, you can't really see it yet, but it's coming to life. So he shows me the outline of it, and it looks almost and shows me it's the building in it, and the picture. It looks like a model house, like a tiny house. And I said, and he sends me the picture. I say, I can't get a sense of the size of that thing, Rick, when you show me that picture. And he goes, that house is 1,400 square feet. It's just that the room it's in is 7,000 square feet. I'm going, oh, okay. Now I understand. I mean, it's unbelievable what these guys do over there, and I'm really so proud to be associated with these guys. But he said this place is crazy. He goes, I'm telling you, when Rick Pogue says this place is crazy, you better believe it's crazy. I mean, that's pretty unbelievable. So yeah, so we have questions for actually, even, it's funny, if you ever get into a debate with somebody, you should ask simple questions like I just asked you before that break there. Like when Adam Schiff says he wakes up dividing the country, you'd think that George Stephanopoulos would say, okay, what is that? What does dividing the country mean? What do you mean divisive? And then you could ask him, okay, what's a perfect union? What are you talking about? I mean, those are real. It makes you. Some people are afraid to ask questions like that because you're afraid of being shamed. Like, oh, you don't know what a perfect union is? I go, no, I really don't know what a perfect union is, because they don't expect you to ask like what that is. What's a perfect union? And they won't be able to tell you. What's a democratic institution? What is that? Well, it's journalism. What is it? They'll never be able to tell you. So next time you get into like a little thing with somebody and they pull those lines on you, well, I don't know. Like, he's just not very presidential. Like, what is that? Like, what would presidential be? Well, I don't know. They'll usually say that. They don't know. That's not who we are. All right. And then somebody could, we allow these politicians to get away with all this gobbledygook that doesn't make any sense, but we just accept that it does because we don't want to look stupid asking about it. Well, any real American knows what a perfect union is. Don't you remember? Like, okay, I get it, but what is that? What does it look like? Or when Spartacus mouths off that's not who we are. It's like, okay, who are we? And they won't be able to they won't be able to tell you. I'm serious. I guarantee you. When somebody says existential threat, ask them what that means. Don't be afraid because they won't be able to tell you. They actually probably don't even know what the word existential really means. They've heard that. What's the other one? Aspirational. Remember that one, Phil? Yes. When Ocasio-Cortez came out with a really stupid idea for the new Green Deal, there were all these people calling it aspirational. I'm like, what does that mean? Now, normally that means they don't really mean what they're saying. They're just aspiring to be that way. And who doesn't aspire certain things? I would aspire to have Adam Schiff off the planet. But nonetheless, but aspirational is this weak little out that they all give themselves. And really what it's code for, I'm running my mouth, but I don't mean a word I'm saying. That's what aspirational means. Mostly. But ask people that kind of stuff. That's not us. Who are we? Democratic institutions. What is that? Presidential. What does that mean? Existential threat. Spell it. That kind of stuff. You'll get them every single time. They'll have something else. They'll pick up their phone. Hold on, I got a phone. Anyway, yeah. Or next time they see you, they'll act like they're on a phone call. So you've gotten rid of them by that time. Hey, have a great rest of your day, everybody. Thanks for listening to Allman in the Morning.
News.